Okay, so Maximus, how are you today?
Doing pretty good. Got my coffee here. Sun's up. Birds chirping. Can't
What
complain.
what more could you possibly ask for but being on a brand new podcast?
Project Bodybuilding.
The Project Bodybuilding podcast. I can hardly wait to get into it. I've been foaming at the mouth for this opportunity, and I really appreciate you for coming on.
Been I'm quite familiar with your channel, although I only have so much time to
No, I feel the exact
watch
same.
other channels. But I do catch some of your comparisons and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, you as well. Um, so today I'm going to be talking about the 2024 Arnold Classic. By the time it rolls, next week rolls around, we'll be halfway through with the Arnold Classic because it's a 2-day show. But we're going to discuss all the competitors, but very briefly, I want to start with Classic Physique. And I have to be honest, I haven't been too thrilled with the Arnold Classic Physique Division. Usually I'm all for it, but this time around, you know, the guys were kind of staying quiet. But I've made this slideshow just for us. So we got the Arnold Classic Physique poster here, and I've only made it a top five because, I mean, I don't know how many of these other guys have been at the Olympia. I think Courage has, but I mean, everyone has a presumed, top five, like from Michael to Ramon. So you pick a guy, we'll talk about him, we'll go from there.
Well, you go with first guy up there,
Wesley,
Wesley. He's
um,
been looking peeled.
he
Couple of
has.
guys up there that he's just on paper, he's just not going to be able to beat. But I, as a fan of the division, I like his physique, and I hear the same thing from other people.
Everyone except for the judges, which seem to not really jive with whatever he brings.
He's
Um,
been getting better in placings,
he
I will say.
has. He has. I remember when he was at the Arnold Classic, it was a travesty. This was back in 2019. He had placed 10th. And I remember he was completely thrown off. He didn't know why this had happened, but he had slowly started making his way up. You're right. I mean, he's looking shredded. You can't say that.
2019, he was at the Arnold.
2019, I believe. It may have been 2018. 2018 or 2019, he was 10th. He was way down there. But I mean, he's making improvements, like you said. So, I mean, some guys are going to say he's boxy. I'm kind of in that camp. I mean, I see both. I think in some poses he definitely looks like Arnold, and I mean, this is the Classic Physique Division. But I mean, at
He's got
some point,
he's just got a lot going for him.
yeah. I mean, I think I had to see here. I think the thing I noticed on Wesley is he can carry size a lot better than other classic guys. Like, I mean, he has to weigh the same, but whether it's bone density or whatever, he just seems to carry more size in certain places, like the chest. Big man's chest, the arms, absolutely massive.
One of the
Um,
few guys to have a great big man's chest in that division.
I,
Double's not bad.
and then, but when you turn around to the lower body, I don't know if I could find a lower body. Here,
Quads are separated. I think it's from behind. His hamstrings look good there. I don't go by these pictures for lag size,
yeah,
making his legs look a little smaller. Not that picture, but the front shot. Yeah, he's got a good hamstring from the side, but from behind, it's a little. I think the legs are his weaker point.
yeah, definitely. Um, and I don't know if I can find one. I would say glutes too. Here's him at the Olympia. Yeah, I mean, quads, they've come up enough to where they're like an actual strong point, I would say.
He looked bigger in 2020,
2020. Yeah, you're right. But he
but he
was
did not look as crisp.
no off, I would say off the mark even. Do you know what he placed in 2020?
8th or 10th,
I want to say 10th.
or maybe even 11th. He got because he came in a little bit more peeled the next year, 2021, but he
Yeah.
was a little underwhelming as well. I found him a little small, but 22, I think he looked good. He looked better in 23.
I would agree with that. And I think at he did do the Romania Pro. I don't know. Many people just kind of forget that, but he's already qualified for the 24 Olympia. So this is just kind of, the pressure's off for the Arnold Classic. It's he'd like to do well, but it's not like I'd like to get my qualification here. Um,
He'll compete again probably after the Arnold.
he's in Arnold UK as well.
Yeah, there
So
you go.
and this is the Romania Pro.
Well, it's kind of foolish for the guys not to be competing at these big events because they get to compete against the best of the Olympia lineup aside from Bumstead.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's your, you get a chance to do it twice, go against
Exactly.
these guys twice.
And he's been saying he's been trying new peak weeks out and things like that. And I mean, just the information you can get from that alone, it would be worth it.
So this is the Romania where
Yeah.
Samson won
Yes. Yeah.
because the
2024.
backgrounds blend in. The backgrounds for the Romania always look identical.
They do. They do. But I like it. I mean, there are
Oh
some
yeah,
worse
no.
ones out there.
Oh yeah, no. At least half of it's not screen.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So we'll get back to placing Wesley. I want to talk about the next guy. Michael DeBolt.
Wesley's got a. Do you want me to put my placings now, or
No, no, we'll do that.
because I could say like I could have him from so and so place to whatever.
Um, I have him in fifth. How about yourself?
I'd honestly have to look at the list again. Somebody dropped out, did they not recently?
Yeah, and I couldn't remember. I think it's this Loth guy. It's either I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah,
him.
yeah, he wasn't beating Wesley.
Yeah, I think I mean this show basically starts at the top five. I mean, respect to all the other competitors, but I mean all these other guys just seem to be in a tier above. So
Who's in between Ainsley and I think Patrick?
Damian Patrick, that's a name I vaguely know. This guy on our
Yeah.
yeah. Um
See,
that's
these
a
guys are
I mean I vaguely know him, but I mean not top 10 at the Olympia or I would
no, it's like there's gonna be a good separation here,
yeah.
you know. But Wesley will definitely be in the top end.
Okay. Keep that. We'll tack him down right there. We'll come back to that. Now, this next guy, Michael DeBolt. I'm actually a big fan of him. He's kind of another polarizing physique. I would say he is overkill for the division. I mean, this guy is insanely muscular, and some would say too shredded. I don't know if there is such a thing. Some people can argue that, but just on that basis
Bumstead
of
shredded and
alone,
he's winning.
that's true. That's true. But just on the basis of being muscled and conditioned, I mean, you can be a little lacking in the shape, is the way I see it.
I put Daboul in the same category as a Mike Sommerfeld, where if he is get there, if they do put him ahead, I don't see too many people complaining. Like I can see where they could bump them guys ahead,
Sure.
especially Daboul. He's bigger. Sommerfeld's a little shorter, and I like height. Say what you will, I like height,
You
and
know,
it's one reason why I like Vissers.
I point that out in my comparisons all the time, and I say it does help. And then some people will try to
It
say
matters. It
it
matters. It's all genetics. A lot of it's genetics anyway. So
exactly. I mean, if you're walking down the street in a crowd and you see a taller guy, he just sticks out. And it's the same thing applies with looking at a guys in the lineup. It's just humans are just drawn to taller people. That's
I'm
just
a
how it
short
is.
little fella too, and I wrestled for years. And I remember new guys would come in, and I'd be so disappointed if they were short. Well, you're short, and I'm like, yeah, I know. We need big
the
guys,
the
these little
self-loathing.
tiny, more
I'm five
realistic.
seven.
Okay, yeah, but the same height.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is. You just got to be realistic about it. It's just part of it. But I think the bull, not the tallest guy, not the best shape, but he'll get by on that conditioning alone. And he's just very muscular for this division, very complete. I don't really think he has a
Very
weak point.
complete, very complete. Back as well.
Back is
That's where
really
he's
good.
gonna get Vissers on the back. That's just it. Is he not showing the back?
Sh- Guess not. Here we go. And I mean, the thing I don't like about the bull is he like poses so hard, he shakes a lot. It's like he is holding on for dear life. He is flexing, and I notice a lot of shaking. I don't
Some guys
think
just need to hold to flex so hard, and I don't know why that is.
it's just like, I mean, some would say it's water and, lack of electrolytes. I would just say this dude is flexing incredibly hard, so hard that he is, shaking the entire body, and he can definitely lose balance a lot. But I don't
Michael
think that,
Kreese,
yeah, yeah. But I think that
he's not as bad as I make fun of him about.
uh, he's gotten better. He's
Yeah.
certainly gotten better.
Yes. Yeah. But some
But
guy they say you only really need to flex 50% and you're gonna look almost exactly the same,
yeah, you know,
as opposed to just driving it right in there, and it's like, you're gonna have to be doing this pose 10, 15, 20 times.
exactly. And you remember, Metal Man, right? The
Metal I call him Metal Man, but
Metal
yeah,
Man. Okay, I'm not.
I
I'm
I
not
I
too.
don't know. I don't
He
know.
The thing that really irks
Berry
me about
Berry,
him,
Jose Berry Berry.
exactly. He flexes so nonchalantly, and it's just like he hits the pose, and it's like you would think that's how he sleeps. I'm just noticing some low energy, but maybe that's just
As
me. He
long as it
still
looks
looks
good,
great.
I guess. If you're focused on the oh, the rib cage expansion and your abs and stuff, it's not
Mhm.
your arms aren't gonna look like they're flexing their hardest.
Yeah,
And sometimes that's how you get your best look, and you gotta think your legs have to be flexed. And if your concern is overall balance of condition and your arms are more peeled than the rest of your body, like Lunsford, for instance, he needs to start doing the opposite, flexing his arms a little harder. And I'm sure it's just a genetic thing, but
I would say so, but I know what you're saying. So
usually the opposite.
DeBoll in, I'm going to put him down at fourth. We'll switch
I don't
these
know.
around.
There's pretty there's because
Well, I think
there's only three other guys. Oh, no, there's four guys there.
Well, I guess I should have put a
Yeah.
X on Ruffin because he is out. He's not. He's opening
Oh,
a gym. Y-
Ruffin's out. Parents
Yes.
Ruffin's out.
Yes.
I'm off.
After
I'm slow on the news, man. I've been working on videos, and I lose my. You got to keep track of this stuff
Yeah,
every day.
I hardly do, but as
So
soon as
he's
the
out.
list,
Okay.
yeah, as soon as the list came out, he said, I'm not doing it. I'm opening a gym instead." So, and he's been traveling a lot. Like I think he was in Korea for a while.
Well, he did the Dubai. He won the Dubai. Oh, that was before the Olympia.
Yeah, but he did
Okay.
win the show in India, the Sharu India. So he's already qualified for 2024.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Okay. So he is already, yeah, yeah. Well, he was already qualified. No, no.
because he placed
He
outside of
That's right, yeah. You gotta get into the top 3 now.
That's right. That's right. Actually, I forgot about that. I was going to say top
Yeah,
five, but no, you're right.
yeah.
So Michael
And
DeBull,
I like that anyway. I like the top 3.
absolutely. I mean, especially in classic. I mean, the problem I see with classic is that there's like five guys, 5 to 10 guys, that are pretty popular. And after that, there are so many shows that so many people get to the Olympia and get to the top, but they're not really at the top because they're not really competitive with the other guys. I mean,
No.
there were dozens
It's
of
it's like a
competitors.
it's like a popularity contest or like, back in high school or something. It's like you can only be in there if people know who you are and you're
I'm
popular.
I'm
And
getting
there is guys like Daboul, he's getting there. Wesley's getting his arm in there, and he's getting in there as well.
mhm.
And, guys like, Kalczynski, I know we're gonna get to him, but he's gotta watch his butt because
I would
he expected a win at the Olympia and things of that nature, and it's like, well, watch watch your opponents, not just Bumstead.
I would say that. But before we get to Wesley, Wesley's the next
Yeah,
guy I
yeah.
want to get to. Michael DeBull, Wesley Vissers. This is in the top five. I think we have two tiers. top three and above, I think those guys are kind of on a lock. And then the top two are, well, the two below that, Michael DeBull and Wesley Vissers. I think they're in another tier, just slightly below that, but I think they'll trade back and forth. But who do you think ultimately comes out on top?
Double.
I,
I hate to say it because I love Vessers. I might
yeah,
even get somebody just threw a rock at my house, and this isn't even live. No, but that's how I think the cookie will crumble. That's not how I would judge it even. I'm telling you how I think it's gonna unfold. And I think Daboul, he's at his very best. So is Vissers. I've done comparisons, I believe.
these were the only two I was going to do a comparison for, but then in the end, I just thought I have DeBull so easily I don't even need to do the comparison. It's just like from the back, DeBull gets them from the front. I personally like DeBull more. Um, I just don't think it's. I'm not going to say it's not a
Vissers
contest, but it was clear to me.
Visser's good shots are also Daboul's good shots.
Yeah, yeah,
Seems maybe from the side Vissers could get him, but even then, I'd have to see it.
yeah. Because Michael's legs, the side leg is really good, and then he does have some pretty good pecs. He doesn't have the big man's chest like Wesley, but he has some pretty good
Get
pecs.
getting there.
Yeah. All right. So Urs is next. And I think you alluded to maybe Urs not doing as well. I don't know if I'd say that. I would also say he definitely needs to be careful. He's not unbeatable by the guy I have in second in my own
No.
predictions. And he's
He
been quiet. I mean, you can see there's nothing. This is from Christmas. This is well December 11th. So,
Christmas tree,
yeah.
baby plea.
and and that's it. That was the last one. So we haven't seen anything. So we really have nothing to go off of.
I just and I hate to say this because I like the guy. He's a cool dude. But Bumstead's champion, right? This is the physique we all know and love.
Yeah,
We all accept his weak point is his biceps. But as classic fans, do we not love that front double bicep like Arnold Schwarzenegger? You go up with a big pose. And what's his weak point? His is even weaker than
I
Bumstead's, I would say.
yeah. And
So it's
Chris
like
brought us back up.
we need like a guy that you can see there in the picture or in the little video.
Yeah.
But
Um
his conditioning is not to be questioned, and his wheels are great.
I mean the problem in classic though is like conditioning, it's like it's either going to be a 10 or it doesn't matter because everyone has to weight cap to make, so everyone is on. Everyone like I think everyone brings great conditioning. So
They have to. Yeah.
it may be a plus for Urs in like an open setting, an open context. If there was no weight cap, he would still bring great conditioning. But if it's not a strength now because everyone is bringing great conditioning.
Yeah, I find a couple of the guys are more conditioned now that they're able to carb up properly.
Yeah, they don't look as flat.
Exactly. It's a science.
It is. Call it a mastery because you have to have the art aspects as well as the science aspects. It's really a mastery of both. So Urs Kalasinski, a lot of people would have him in second. That's just you take Chris out, he moves up to second. Do you
Now,
have him in second?
who, Urs?
Yeah,
No.
that's exactly what my prediction was actually.
Do you
I'm
think
gonna.
it's possible Daboul could get Urs?
I think it's possible that Breon gets Urs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Did not Breon beat him at the Olympia? No.
No,
Right
no,
behind him.
yeah, but I did make a video on that, and I broke that down post by post. I had Breon winning
Yeah,
that fairly
yeah.
easily. A lot of people did as well. I put out a poll, and my audience voted, and it was overwhelming. Like 2/3 thought Breon should have placed higher.
I
Um,
think he benefited from the weight more than almost anyone.
Definitely. I mean, he was as good as gone. He was going to the 212 division, and those legs were already gone, uh, respectfully. But now I think I'm noticing a little more legs. And he always looks good, okay in the legs leading up, but he loses it in the last week. It's just because he has to come down and the extra cardio has to pull from somewhere. But I think he can keep this look like that. Like he can step on stage like that, and those legs, I don't really think are out of place at all.
Robbie Robinson biceps.
That too. I mean, he has the classic elements, like, I mean, not the smallest waist, but the big arms.
Not bad. He vacuums it anyway.
Yeah, and I think it's gotten better, honestly. But I'm noticing a little more leg size. I mean, it's a little, but the thing is, I think he can actually hold it now going into peak week and show day.
It was a couple of years ago at the Arnold, 2021 maybe. I think he did lose to Urs, but it looked like he should have won. I think Terrence Ruffin won that one.
Yeah, yeah. 2021 sound 2022 maybe.
No, 2022 I think was had the blue background. This
No,
one was different.
that was 2023.
I think they both did.
Mm.
Because remember, Brandon Curry won the Arnold, who's the blue
Well,
background.
one, but sure.
Oh, you think
I'm a
Curry or
I'm
you
a
think Bonac beat him?
I'm a Bonac lover. Bonac is one of my
Hey,
favorite physiques.
I got videos out there where I agree with you. Right after the Arnold.
I remember watching those videos actually,
Yeah.
and it's so surreal now that I have that we're talking today. But that's besides the point. But anyway, Breon can beat some guys. It's another scenario where I don't think the judges like him that much because he's not had the leg problem in the past, but is still placed behind guys like Urs, Rahman, where he's arguably shouldn't have placed behind them.
It's a difficult thing to be champion and you're still around and they want to bring a new crop in.
Hmm.
And you're not getting any worse and they don't know where to put you. It's like he'd be better off if he was a new guy.
Yeah, honestly, I think that is a big part of it. Um, so between Urs and Breon, do you think Urs is going to get the nod again? Do you think Breon gets runner up?
I don't know, man. I honestly think that they are going to put Urs ahead of Breon. So I
Ye-
guess when you said Urs for second, I probably should have said yeah.
I mean, my heart says one
Much
thing.
to my chagrin. Much to my
Yeah,
chagrin.
I agree with you there.
I got snow coming down.
I woke up to snow, actually, but you're in Canada, right?
Way up there in Canada.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, I love it up here.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I build igloos.
Really, actually.
You never seen my other channel? I
I
got a
had no
video
idea
of
you
me
had
making
another
an igloo.
channel. What
Yeah.
what's I'm gonna put this what's your other channel?
It's right on my homepage. You go to my homepage of my YouTube channel, and I have two other channels.
I guess I'm
One's
just
called I forget. But the other one's called Marx Max Muscle without the X, just Mark with an S, a K and an S. But that's not the one where I build igloos. Um, Unique Escape. That's what it's called.
I had absolutely no idea. I guess I'm just not that hardcore of a fan. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm like a traveling Wilbury. I'm like a woodsman, a nomad.
I see
So I wouldn't.
camping. Is this you? This is 2, 3 years ago. Building an igloo.
Yeah,
Interesting. I had no idea. I've been getting into outdoor content myself. And I think I'm gonna eventually try to go
I gave up
wilderness.
on it.
Is it hard? Or is it I
I'm spending 24 hours a day on videos. I really have no time, and I want to train. You know,
yeah. I
and that basically is training, going out there and building an igloo or chopping down trees and stuff like that.
but it's rewarding. It's
Yeah.
like probably the most primal version of a reward that you can get.
Oh,
You
I'll have cook my chicken breasts out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very quite rewarding. Yeah.
All right. Last guy. I think just by the way we're talking, we both have him in first. Ramondino.
Come on,
Or
come
you
on,
say Ramon. I have no idea what it's like. I think it is Ramon, but I've been saying
Roman,
Ramon for so long.
Roman.
Another guy that hasn't.
I don't call him Urs either. I call him Ors.
I think. Well, I mean, he's German. I don't really know what the pronunciation is like there.
Bear in French is Ors,
Is that is that
and he's a miracle bear.
I I'm learning so much on this podcast. It's I had no idea that he was actually is that his real name then? Is Urs his real name? Or is that like a nickname his parents
Oh,
gave to him?
he's not French though,
Exactly. Yeah.
so I don't know.
Huh. But Ramon is one of those guys that have they're completely quiet. I mean, we get a tank top update. That's really about it.
Yeah, he's there's guys like that, and that's fine. Ronnie
Yeah.
Coleman was like that. Ronnie Coleman never looked. I mean, he looked great in his prep videos, but he did not look like anything special.
Yeah.
Dennis James looked insane in the
Hmm.
gyms, things of that nature, but game day's all that counts.
Exactly. And I think Ramon has everything. He has the shape they want. He definitely has the popularity. He's also conditioned and he has plenty of size for the division. I don't really everyone else up until this point was missing something. And I think Ramon is the best iteration of bringing it all together.
Was Breon in last year's Arnold?
No, because he had already decided to move to the 212. So he
So, yeah, it was Sommerfeld.
and
Sommerfeld was there.
Alex
I know.
Compranero snuck up in there. I think Alex was
I think Alex beat Sommerfeld.
yes. Yes, he
I think he
did.
even got 3rd.
I think that's correct.
Yep.
And
The
I was
screen
predicting
shows. It's probably not on the video, so
okay.
probably doesn't matter.
I would hope not. But Ramon, is he placing anything below first?
Oh, there you just fast forwarded, your face was going, and now you're live again. Dylan, come on, Dylan.
Did you hear me?
Yeah. What
Gotcha.
did you say?
Ramon anywhere other than
Oh, yeah, yeah.
first.
No less than first. No. No.
Yeah,
The
it's his show
Brazilian
to lose.
bombshell will win this show.
Um, Off topic, does he beat Chris this year, or does Chris retire before the Olympia?
I was sniffing around him beating Chris at the Olympia, but Chris had improved from the year prior. I didn't like Chris's look in 22.
I didn't like it in 2021. I thought
21 or 22.
I thought
2020
22 was
was his
fine.
best. 2020 looked awesome.
Yes, I would
And
agree with
this
that.
past year, 23, he looked almost as good, maybe.
Hmm. I think he was really peeled in 22. I think he was slightly less conditioned in 23, but a little fuller, just a little
Yeah,
bit.
he needs that full, and it's classic. It's classic. You
Yeah,
want full muscle bellies, baby, please. Parappa!
but with the weight cap, you're getting the other side of the spectrum, more condition, less fullness, when really it's definitely not what.
I heard he was always a few pounds off.
Well, he magically gets taller every year too.
Well,
It's
his head's this long. People don't understand. That's a huge advantage. If you were measuring shoulder height, that would be actually more fair.
that is, yeah.
Because if you got a big long neck, like remember Mecha Neck? You don't remember Mecha Neck? The He-Man action figure? His neck could pop right out. He'd be perfect for classic.
I don't know he, man. I'm 21.
That's true too.
But I think I think Chris is waiting to see what life as a parent is like because he has a kid coming. Um, and I think if he's going to make a decision, it's going to be after that. But I think he's still got one more in him.
The Bum Man?
Yeah, And I don't
Yeah,
think Ramon's going to beat him either.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah, well, you may be a hater, but
No, hey, I'm Canadian. I have to kind of like Bumstead.
sure.
He's famous. He's famous.
Some people saw it at the 23 Olympia. They said, I mean, admittedly, a lot of Brazilians thought Ramon was finally
Oh,
taking the Olympia. And I, while I was watching it live, I thought there's absolutely no way. It's just Chris is just so far ahead. Like the amount he would have to come in off is just, I think, 10, 15%. And still then,
yeah.
I think Ramondino is going to have a tougher time.
Yeah, he's not beating him with a prettier set of biceps. It's just not enough.
Yeah. So happy with his top five.
I think most people will have Vissers ahead of Dabul, but then they're just going to be upset.
I would agree. I think I think we agreed on Urs in second.
Ursa's there twice. Huh.
I think that's going to be accurate. I don't I don't want to say the division's stagnant, but I mean it seems pretty stagnant by my estimation. Like I said, there's like five guys, 5 to 10 guys, and they all there'll be a placing moved throughout the entire season, and that's it.
You don't think a Parra can do anything here?
No, too short and too small.
Pretty physique, though.
I don't like the way his rib cage looks. I feel the same way about Wesley Vissers, but for a slightly different reason. But Courage kind of has a let me,
He is little. He is little.
and he just I just don't think it carries that much size, personally.
Courage. Yeah, he's got a great shape.
Actually, I disagree. I must have been thinking about someone else. I think this rib cage is fine. I don't like and I have one of these too. It's more of a V shape rather than a U.
You.
Yeah.
Tominator did a video on that years ago.
Hmm. I mean, great legs, but
Yeah, he's just so little. You gotta see him next. He's like Thierry Postel. You remember Thierry Postel? Or obviously you don't remember him, but you've
how
seen
tall was
pictures of
he?
him. Very short, like 5'2".
That's what I wanted to say.
And he was awesome by himself. But you stick him next to somebody that's 6 feet tall, and it's
Yeah.
like I say, a hammer's gonna break through a 2x4, but a hammer ain't gonna break through a redwood. It'll wear out.
Hmm.
It'll wear out.
And I mean, good. He's pretty complete. It's just on
He
a
is, yeah.
smaller scale. I didn't
Yeah.
realize his back was that good, but it's just
Yeah, no, he's decent, but he's just little. There's nothing he can do about that.
yeah, you get lost in. I think he's on. Uh, I don't know about on lock because I don't know about the other guys, but I think he's probably going to be sixth. I would say
He's the only other name, really.
the only other name I know. Yeah.
I don't know who's the guy beside Ruffin.
Uh,
Ricotta?
Emmanuel Riccati. Never.
Ricotti, yeah. I think he was in the Tampa last year. Could be wrong.
This is
I've
actually the first time
honestly
I've heard of him.
I've been a little bit out of the classic this year because I'm trying to focus on more open,
Hmm.
like doing other different types of projects, but I got to get back into the classic.
Well, I just don't think there's much to talk about. Like I would have loved to do
Exactly.
classic
Exactly.
comparisons, but there's just like not a whole lot to talk about because we've seen these guys and we're probably going to see they don't change because they peak fairly similarly because it's like they come down to the same weight most of them and then they fill back up to similar weights. It's
Yep.
very
Repetitive.
minimum. They don't really make a whole lot of improvements. You'll have a case like a Chris Bumstead 2019 to 2020, but I mean he had like 10 pounds to play with in between those two.
That was his first defense as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's champion. You got to train as champion all year.
So I'm happy with that top five. Speak now, forever hold your peace.
I'm good with that.
I think that's
So
fairly likely.
we're
Now,
agreed on the we're agreed the and on every pick. That's not very exciting. Should be arguing on this. I think Vestas is going to win the show.
I just
Totally foolish.
I
Yeah.
just see it as largely predictable. But one thing I don't see as predictable is the Open. Like I see a couple of dark horses. I know a lot of people have like the same top five of any mix of James, Horse, Raphael, and Samson and Hadi in different orders. But I mean, Akeem could be on. Antoine is looking the best he's ever looked. Um, Mo has been out of the scene for 2 years. I mean, you can have some people breaking into that top five. So I think this one will be a little more spirited. But we'll just go right down the line here. James, how you feel about him?
I continuously put him behind Akeem, but as we get closer, because Akeem, he always fools me. He
Yeah,
comes in straight up Akeem Williams, like he
you've done
always is. It's
you
not great. It's good. It beats some guys, but is
it
it
did
gonna, you know,
it didn't beat James the last time they stepped on stage in 2022 because James was that 16th man and then Akeem was slightly behind and
was it at the Olympia?
yeah.
Yeah. You should do a comparison.
I thought about it. I thought I was gonna do like a rehash of the 2022 Olympia stragglers of Antoine, James, Akeem. I
All
those
the 16th places,
yeah, yeah.
because the
But
judges don't really pay attention to that, you know.
Yeah, but James technically he was a
Yeah.
point ahead of everyone
He
in
was
that
looking
bunch.
pretty fluffy though, you got to admit.
Yeah. The version you used that I didn't use, the Tsunami Pro version,
Yeah, he looked
I should
pretty
have
good
used
there.
that one.
Yeah, he looked
I
decent.
yeah, honestly, like I think that may have been the best James we've seen. I personally like
Do
the
you know
Arnold
how to get
UK.
to the sites? Do you know how to get to the how to find these pages with the pictures of them?
I actually used a link in your description for the Russian website.
The Amble, yeah.
Yeah,
That's great. But there's another you can just type their name followed by NPC News Online.
that's who I usually use.
But you know
Yeah.
what? Sometimes they don't show all there's like 3 or 4 of them, and some of them are missing, and the Tsunami one is actually pretty hard to find sometimes.
hmm
You gotta
Uh,
basically type it in. You can type
Mus
the name of the event, 2023 or 22 Tsunami Pro.
Sometimes I use muscular development.
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
But they watermark the things. I don't really doesn't feel right removing a huge watermark, especially for a fallen Titan like muscular development. But so I tend to use other pictures. But
Yeah, Hollingshead, like you said, man, there's so many variables. See, with Classic, I think they're set on a physique. They're gonna pick it, and it's gonna be you could place them either way depending on where you want these guys. But open, it's like one of these guys is gonna be bigger and more conditioned. He's gonna win. And
hmm
it's obvious. People will see it, and the judges have to place them accordingly. And
hmm
between Hollingshead, Hakeem, Antoine Vaillant, Le Canadien Destroyer, huh? Le Frenchman, it could go either way. And you could even put Horse in there.
yeah. So the thing with Hollingshead, I reported on this and no one else is talking about it. The disparity in the quads. He had an injury. He hasn't disclosed what it is, but I don't know if you can see it between this
Hard to see
quad.
there because it's all white in the background.
I forget the exact picture. Oh, here. Um, he has
There's a
this
different one there.
he has this thing he uses when he's training to like it's kind of like like an electrical shock kind of thing, but um
All
on
new
that
technology.
yeah, I have no idea what it is, but he's been using it on that quad specifically.
All hooked up.
Yeah. And I there's a his quads are so round, so
There, you can see them
bulbous.
there. Yeah, he's got big quads.
But I just think this one's notably down in size. I don't know if that hurts him a whole lot because the way he poses, he tilts, so it's already going to kind of look smaller anyway, which is a good thing. But with his posing, I don't think it matters a whole lot.
Just hopefully the guy next to him has the same affliction.
And then the back is going to be an
Back,
uphill battle for
back's
James.
a little weak, but so is Horse MD.
Incredibly weak,
And
actually.
so is Akeem. So is Akeem.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know who has
So
a worse rear double.
Akeem's lower lats are gone. He got into an accident. He got rear-ended on the highway after it was like 2020. If you go
Is
look at his
that
pictures, 2020, his lats were pretty decent. They were coming in full at the Olympia, and that's when it happened. Got into the accident, and he came back, and his lats were he couldn't deadlift, he couldn't squat.
and I know he just got in another car accident and had shoulder surgery, I think after the 2023 Arnold.
Oh,
It's
really? Another one?
yes. Yeah. Because he has a bunch of tape around his shoulder and he was talking about
Oh,
that. But
that's why he had that.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh. No, that's a shame, man. The guy probably drives nonstop.
Let's see. I mean, the back, it's not Akeem's level of shallow. I mean, it's something, but he also has kind of like he's very narrow and his lats
Yeah.
end pretty abruptly.
I'd like to see them side by side.
Well, Matt Marks, there's a comparison on my channel that you can watch where I compared Akeem versus Raphael versus Horse versus James because I thought I was making the point that if Akeem is on, he is in that top five. Like we don't even need to see Akeem at 100% to be top five. If he comes in, like I use the 2022 Tampa Pro. If he comes in like 80%, he does enough in the front and side shots that and the most muscular, even in the abs and thighs that he's
His abs and
probably top
thighs not
five.
bad,
No, not bad at all.
surprisingly. Who
But
did he defeat at the Arnold last year? He beat someone. Wasn't
Justin,
Bonac.
Justin,
Just Justin?
Kamal,
Was Kamal
because
at the Arnold? Yeah, the Kamal was at the Arnold, wasn't he?
Patrick Moore too.
Patrick. Oh, man,
You,
that guy.
you hate to see it.
It's not his fault that he nailed it one time. And everybody holds him above this, holds him up to this 2019 Olympia standard. I think he was lucky to get that and not many people are lucky enough to nail it, absolutely nail it at the Olympia.
And the 2019 Olympia was a shallow lineup. I'm not going to say he couldn't place top 10.
But that's just another the stars were aligned.
Yeah,
There you go. Get your top 10.
yeah.
Go get your top 10.
But we've been talking about Akeem a lot. But James, I think he's improved in shape. The thing with James is that he can't balance what he wants to bring. He can bring mass and he can bring the shreds, but he usually leans too far into one direction. It's particularly the shreds. And he gets flat. He looks stringy. Of all people to look stringy, like in the arms and things, he looks, tired because he goes so far. Because this dude eats a lot. He's 270 on stage, and his body it just goes. So I think he got into condition early, and he can kind of refeed as he needs to close to the show. He's already ready. We're not going to see him any more shredded than he is here, but I think he could fill in when he needs to.
Yeah. Yeah, he was good. I remember a couple of years ago because he was competing more often. I think he competed twice in a row.
In 2020 at the British Grand
Yeah.
Prix and the Europa Pro.
Yeah, I think he did the Europa first, if I'm not mistaken, but you could be right.
Yeah, both versions I thought were very good.
Yeah.
That may actually be the best James we've seen because I mean I think he peaked very well. He kind of had both.
But he had his mentality too. I think he's a like an emotional. He lets his emotions
I
run
think
him.
so
I think
too.
because guys like that, they do drop the ball at the Olympia because it's such a big moment.
And the thing with James is he's been going without a coach for a while, and I think he likes to be very hands-on in his own
Yeah,
peaking process.
yeah.
Um, and you can't if you're going to have a coach, you have to get out of the kitchen. There can't be too many cooks in the kitchen. You kind of have to let someone take the reins or you take the reins, whatever it may be.
Too many Chiefs, not enough Indians.
Yeah, you have to have one person making the decisions. Some people can maybe influence a little, but someone has to be the executive here.
Yeah, two people trying to do your diet. You imagine that.
And I think that's kind of what James is rolling with because Milos keeps an eye on him, but so does Jordan Peters.
Milos, I think, has too much on his plate.
Well, he's going for that coach of the year.
Yeah, but if he wears himself too thin, you get more known if you're getting a guy that's winning. Well, he's got, he's got a lot of
He
just
does have a lot
coaching,
on his plate.
yeah, he does, and he's getting old. I like Milos, but he's
The,
getting old.
the mind is still sharp. He's still, I
That's
think
his
he's,
nickname. That's his nickname.
yeah, exactly. I think Milos is my favorite coach. I mean, he just,
He's a he's actually commented on my videos.
and he'll
He's a
tell
cool
you,
guy.
he'll tell it like it is. That's why I like him
That's
personally.
why he doesn't mind me because I tell it like it is,
Yeah.
and he's cool with that.
No, that's exactly why I love Milos. But he may be running himself a little thin. I mean, he has three athletes at this event, right?
Samson's
Samson,
one
Horst,
of
and
his
James.
nobody else. There was somebody talking about trying to get a hold of him.
I
He was ignoring. I was just watching a podcast. I can't remember who it was. They were trying to get a hold of Milos, and Milos is like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll get to you. I'll get to you." And then he just kept ignoring him because he's too busy. He's too busy. He's too
he
busy.
is. I mean, you see
Yeah.
him on. He does like two podcasts, three or four probably a week. On top of,
He'd probably do more if they offered him.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Goes on talks.
Maybe we can get him on this show. I mean,
Gotta ask him. He might.
you never know. I really,
I don't do the shows, or I would ask some bodybuilders that I know I could get on my own show, but I'm no good at that type of stuff.
what communicate networking.
I can be a guest on a show,
Yeah.
but to run the show, like EP09, you watch
Mhm.
his channel, he does a great job to just runs the show.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to ask. Name association, Elvis Presley, Muscle Cup,
Uh, uh,
you know.
the yeah. It's just
I'd go off on different trails.
that's I'm relying on my passion for bodybuilding to really drive this forward, but at the same time, we both can go into so many different avenues, and we have. I mean, right now we're supposed to be talking about James Hollingshead, but I don't even know how we got to this point. Oh,
Well, he is shredded. He is shredded. I'll give him that.
yeah, and coached, not coached by Milos. It comes down to peak for James, and also I'm looking at this entire Arnold from the lens of we're moving in a more aesthetic direction. I think that's pretty clear at this point. They wouldn't give Derek the Olympia over Hottie if we weren't moving into a more shapely era.
So James has a great chance against Akeem then, because both of those guys have equal, similar shapes when you think about it,
I would give the slight edge to Akeem, to be honest, but
because of his waistline.
yeah,
His
yeah,
lats are so high.
that doesn't bother me a whole lot from the front. From the front, that is. From the back, it's pretty bad for him. But from the front,
I do like Akeem. His midsection is not as good as James though. Certain shots.
the actual absent, yeah,
Not
yeah,
the abs and thigh, he's good. I think the front lat spread his midsection goes a little bit. Whereas from the side, he's a beast, man. Like a beast. So James, Akeem, I am gonna be very interested looking at them two guys. It's a free event too, right? It's on YouTube.
yeah. I'll be. Are you doing anything for that? Are you going
Well,
live?
I was thinking about how my lives don't do good at the Olympia, um, because desktop bodybuilding, Xavier Wills,
Take
starring Xavier Wills.
taking up
He's
all the
awesome at
views.
them. No,
Yeah.
no, no, no. Hey, hey. When the high tides rise all ships. I
Mhm.
love when all the channels do good. But he shows screenshots and stuff like that, things of that nature, and I can't do that. I'm too dumb, right? But if it's free, the screenshot videos won't be as viewed because they can see it. So
Yeah.
if I'm just doing commentary, I might actually get more views if they're watching it and they want to hear my commentary on it. So
I'm gonna
I was discussing it with the wife, and she was like trying to convince me to do it.
absolutely. If you don't do your own, definitely come back on here for mine because I'll be going live as well. Uh, both mornings and both nights. So if you don't do your own, definitely come back here.
So you're doing the prejudging the first day.
Yeah. And prejudging the
Well,
second day too. Actually, I don't know if I'll do prejudging the second day because I think it's just men's physique. I'll have to check the schedule. But any day there's either class.
is it possible to have somebody on your channel live? I'm sorry, I don't know how it works. Like a
You're asking
I've
me.
seen live podcasts.
Yeah, we would basically just be doing it like we do here, and
It would be live.
yeah, that's what I'm young, but I really don't know this stuff either. I have to be
No,
honest.
I'm old and I'm dumb. I'm twice your age. So I was raised without computers. I never ever had computers.
I I think it would be fairly easy. So you let me know what you're doing on that. But I think that does it for James. We'll come back to him. I don't want to. I definitely don't want to place these guys yet. We'll come back to it.
Yeah, especially a top 5 because you're gonna have to I have my predictions, but I said it's could change.
I saw your predictions. They were pretty. I mean, you've had some doozies in there. You had
Oh, who I picked to win, who I picked to win the show.
no. I was fine
That
with that.
that was pretty far out.
Who do you? I don't know if you want to spoil it, but who did you have? I saw one where you had Hottie winning.
Yeah, that was my long time ago predictions when everybody was still involved.
Hmm.
Rubiel, Andrew Jack.
Yeah.
I
Um,
said as of now, I got Samson winning.
I do too. I think we're gonna skip over him because I think we're gonna talk about Samson and Hottie in conjunction because I think those are the top
The
two.
top 2 is less exciting
Yeah, I would
to talk
agree.
about.
So let's skip over to Akeem then, which one update, that's really it. But I'm with you. He can really. I mean, I eventually ended up having him lower. Oh, actually, we have something
Is
new. I
that a
haven't
new
seen this yet.
update?
This is a new update.
He's looking pretty oh, maybe that's just the picture. I won't actually
Goes
show
off.
him
No, no,
all his
no, no.
oh, he's taking the top off. Taking it off here, boss. Yeah, he looks pretty peeled.
Um,
It it's standard Akeem.
you know, not to be that guy. I think that looked kind of flat.
Yeah,
He's 6 days out, but
you're gonna
that
look
looked
flat.
that looked a little more than flat to be like the chest. I think we've seen a bigger chest.
Yeah,
Like his delts didn't used to be that dominant. He's always had great delts, but I mean, could that be indicative of something, an issue he had with the shoulder injury? Because you can't do a whole lot of pressing after a shoulder injury. So maybe the chest got downsized, and we haven't seen the back either. So
he won't show the back.
absolutely not.
Yeah, once your shoulders go, I got a bum shoulder, and it really affects a lot.
Actually, I've only my biggest injury was a minor pec injury. I don't even want to say pec injury. It was like a tendon. And I was, this is way back when I was only doing like 185 for 10 on the bench back when I still used to.
185 is a lot of weight for somebody 21 a long time ago. You know what I mean?
I was like, I think I can do it for like 10. So I grabbed it and it was a little uneven and it just something happened. It wasn't like an immediate tear, but something happened.
Yeah,
And I couldn't even do the bar without
yeah.
having it cockeyed. But then I could do pressing on machines, no problem. I would do like 3.5 plates on a machine, no issue. But that's the biggest
Yeah.
injury I had. I did break my toe last month, so I've been out of the gym for a week, a month besides last week.
Broke it. You actually broke it.
I dropped a weight on it in the gym.
Didn't stub it.
Nope. It was broken.
I've never dropped a weight on my toe of all the years I've been lifting weights.
I was I had 3 plates on the squat, but all on the Smith squat, but also a 10 on it. And I didn't realize I had that 10 because I was like, oh,
Wow.
this feels okay. I'll add a 10 aside. And then I took off the 45 without even realizing I had the 10. So the 10 came off first, right on my bare toe. And
Kevin Levrone style.
yeah, I was just so mad. I didn't want to say it didn't hurt that much. and it hurt more the day after, but yeah, I had to take a month off. I couldn't walk for at least a couple days after that, but then I was in a boot.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the biggest gym injury I've had is dropping a weight on my toe.
Never ever been hurt. I think I did tear my pec a long time ago doing the bench press, like you said. It's because it's a straight bar. If you're gonna do heavy weight, you're better off doing dumbbells.
Exactly.
Because if one arm's stronger than the other, it's gonna push all that weight on your weaker arm, and you're gonna
Yep.
have to try to and I don't do 1 rep maxes anymore anyway.
I haven't done those in years, and everything I don't I do is on machines. I mean, I'll work up to 3 plates on a squat, but it's always a Smith press, and I never go below 6 reps. And even that's pushing it. That's heavy for me. I'm I'm like 8, 10, 15. That's
Akeem's a stud, man, as far as weight. If
absolutely.
you see how much weight he can push.
This was on a story, so actually, maybe this was it. Yeah, 25 reps of 405 at the end of the workout, and this was 2 days ago, so this was a week out.
25 reps?
With yeah, 405 at the end of the workout.
I try to do a lot of reps when I do squats.
Yeah,
I do drop sets. I posted a video there on my Instagram. I was doing drop sets. I think I might have did 30 reps. But by the end I was doing like 100 pounds.
it's still something.
Oh yeah.
I love a good drop set on the squat.
Yeah, heavy is a relative term. I'm
It
not
is.
that strong, so
I mean, I'm probably stronger for my age, but um, I I never would advise anyone to train heavy for bodybuilding. I mean, I want to compete in classic physique at one point, so I mean, an injury will do me no good, and numbers really don't do
no,
me any good either.
no. No,
But
when not if you're training to be a bodybuilder.
absolutely not.
When I
So
was your age, I was flying through tables and boards and chairs, so definitely no good for the physique.
okay, Akeem, he put this picture out, and I immediately was like, wow, Akeem's going to be top six at least. He's going to be the one to crack the top five. And then I looked at other pictures, and I was mainly going off the side leg, and I'm like, that's a crazy side leg. But then I look back at other pictures. He's always had this side leg detail. Like this is nothing new.
Almost matches Big Rammies there, 2020.
Yeah. Yeah. He's always one of those guys that has the detail and pretty far out. Like this was 3 weeks out. Like this kind of detail for 3 weeks out is pretty good, especially by Akeem standards. But I
Mhm.
mean, he's always had that. So I don't
Video.
really think it indicates anything.
Like I keep preaching, he's gonna be Akeem Williams, just like last year. Just like last year. He's gonna beat some guys, I think. He'll beat Justin, he'll beat maybe De La Rosa, but I doubt it. I don't know. It's a guy nobody's talking about either.
I am. I talked to John, great guy.
Yeah, he
Um,
is a cool dude. I like John.
let's see here. Who is
Hard to separate, you know, if he's a nice guy, doesn't necessarily mean you gotta predict him to win the event,
I
and some bodybuilders really take exception to that. "How dare you put me in 6th?"
yeah, yeah, and I
But
try
I
not
think
to s
John's a cool guy. Like, I talked to some of these guys, man, they're real
Mhm.
cool dudes.
Then Antoine is next. Antoine, I think, is
Yeah.
also probably the dark horse of the event. Akeem can be one, but I mean, this is a brand new Antoine for sure. Like
Yep.
he can get grainy and dry. I think we've kind of seen that before, but I think the upper body's improved. He needed that upper lower balance. And I mean, those legs, there was a specific update.
You see his delts? There's a shot that shows the ribbons in his delts. Not that one. I mean, he does look incredible.
I think I know. There's
There, no. Yeah, the one where he's
this
wearing the yeah, look at that. That's insane. There's no synthel in those delts, huh?
no. James Holland said he's never pinned his delts or at least done it very minimally. So can that be something to it?
He's never what?
Pinned his delts, like
Oh, pinned them,
Yeah,
needled them.
yeah,
It doesn't help the muscle. It's only going to
cer
hurt the muscle.
certainly doesn't.
Milo said that, if he did it for his biceps, it made his biceps weaker than they were to begin with.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
look at Hattie's delts, how shitty they are. Oh, I didn't mean to curse on your channel, my man.
I don't really care. It's fine. But
Dylan, you son of a.
Hottie stelts look, I think, only bad. I'm a Hottie fan in the rear double. Like
The
there, it
side
looks
shots,
like,
though, the side chest, they look pretty funny too.
but they still kind of have the overall roundness to them. In
Mm,
the rear double, it looks like when you would kids in the 50s rolling up packs of cigarettes in their sleeve. It looks exactly like that underneath the skin. It looks like a pack of oil underneath
the
the skin.
fawns.
I don't even
Marcus Rule smoked.
really,
Yeah, he go and have a cigarette after doing a bodybuilding show.
huh?
Most of the guys I used to wrestle with would smoke cigarettes.
Huh?
Good to have
I
a cigarette before my match. All right.
I try to stay away from things like that, Max
Oh,
Muscle.
cigarettes are gotta be the worst thing. I grew up around it, and everybody
Sure.
in my family smoked cigarettes except me. I mean, I tried them when I was a kid. Everybody
Yeah,
did,
not me.
but my God, oh, good for you. You bypassed a bullet.
I mean, I don't see the appeal, but I mean, when
It
everyone
was.
around you does it, it's kind of hard.
I grew up in the '80s, man, and people smoked in the malls everywhere.
Let's see. So, who can Antoine pick off?
He
Like
could beat Horse.
really?
Yep.
You would go that far?
Yeah, buddy.
And is that based on what?
He's Canadian, and I'm Canadian.
Oh,
I have French heritage. He is also Frenchman. Oui, oui.
I
He
mean,
can. He can. Will he? Look at the rear double by comparison between him and Horse.
well, Horse
I
will
don't know.
have the worst rear. He may even have a worse rear double than Akeem, depending on Akeem's conditioning, to be honest. So
He has the capabilities of hitting a decent one, though.
it must be opposing error because you don't have a front lat spread that good and then have a rear double that's
He,
absolutely abysmal.
he's got to open up or something.
Well, that's another thing that's going to hold Horseback. His posing is actually trash.
Will it
It's
still be, though? We only got to see him
yes.
once. We got to see him once, though, and then he got the criticism from it. He's never criticized from it before.
I this is
This could change it. This could change things.
this could be racist, but the Brazilian guys can't pose worth a shit. Ramon
Well,
Dino,
you're not picking at an actual race there. That's not racist.
ne-
That's prejudice.
you're
That's
right.
fine.
You're
I'm
right.
prejudiced against all racists.
But whatever it is, the Brazilians can't do it. It's the Ramondino. His posing was trash for a while. Now it's just poor. Um, Rafael Brandao is like the only one that I is like good at posing I can think of. All the
He's
Brazilian
been at
guys I
her.
see,
He's been at her a while though.
that's true. But all the Brazilian guys I see, they just
Because they got a sing-song equality about them. They're trying to dance like what's his name used to do. Um, the old guy there back in the '80s. Oh gosh darn it, I can't think of his name right now. But he'd lose track of what his routine was, and he'd start dancing. Once you start dancing, you lose it. And them Brazilians love to dance.
you
Al
know,
Beckles. Al Beckles.
I've never seen Albert Beckles pose.
It was
I've
good if
seen
you would.
pictures,
Yeah,
but
he's start dancing. Yeah,
is Albert
that
Beckles
that
still
guy's an
alive?
actor. He has an actor above him there. Uh, that's that Michael Caine?
Michael Caine.
He's a good actor. Fall down a rabbit hole.
It's the HD muscle sale. We can pick up some HD muscle products. Well, we can't anymore at these prices, but we could have.
Jeez Louise. Get your credit cards out, ladies and gentlemen. So you think
So
it's totally ridiculous to even mention him and Horse MD in the same
y-
sentence?
it was on paper. But now that I think about it, if Antoine will be one of the most shredded guys. Like he already is one of the most shredded guys. So, and he already has a better back than Horse. The side chest was a great looking. I don't know what update it had, but the side chest was looking great. Um,
For Antoine.
yeah, for Antoine.
Was never
Horses
his best pose before.
Horses is pretty good, but yeah, upper body wise, Antoine needs more size. But it looks like he's added it, to be honest. We haven't seen too much from the back, but when you're going up against Horse and D, it's already done, at least from the rear double. So
His lat's okay. His rear lat's okay.
yeah. So honestly, I don't think it sounds that far fetched, to be honest. I mean, that's a beefy chest. Those are great traps. The arms came up, the delts, we've already talked about the delts. They're huge. I mean,
Goon lighting. Has goon lighting.
and his shape is good. His waist is pretty small. When you see him on stage, he doesn't have the best like taper, but he's not rocking a bubble gut. Far from it.
No, no.
Horse's waist, on the other hand, a lot of people think, oh, it's small. He pulls a vacuum. When he went to open, I mean,
Yeah. His waistline used to be razor sharp,
it
like
did.
razor sharp, and it
It
was
did.
his strong point, and then it went to like his not your strong point anymore.
And it's weird because it's either in some shots, I think it looks great, and others, like in the side shots, like especially the side tricep, I think it looks honestly pretty chunky. Pretty,
Yeah.
pretty chunky. So, Antoine, I think he can, like I said, with the you saying he can beat Horse, I think he is the dark horse of the show with how good he looks right now.
A lot of people have Akeem or not Akeem, Hollingshead ahead of all of them, including Horse.
I do.
You
I
got
do.
Akeem. Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
Including Dylan Hudson.
that's that's true.
My last name's almost like your last name.
I was going to take my last name off so I don't get doxxed, but I just decided to roll with it.
Most people don't know my last name, but it's almost like yours.
But you can tell me. You can tell me off
It's
screen.
H. Oh no, I say it all the time, but
Oh,
I don't display it. It's Hodgson. Hodgson. Instead of Hudson,
yeah,
it's Hodgson.
Hodgson.
I can
And
rearrange the
then,
letters of my name and I can spell good arms.
do you just go by Max? Like, what do people in real life call you? Max, Mark, or
Mark. Just Mark.
Mark?
Most of
Just
my
Mark.
friends don't
Just
even
Mark.
really know. Yeah, most of my friends don't even know what I do for a living. They do, but they don't get the gist of it.
Do
What do
you
you
do
do?
this?
That internet and flex on the internet? Yeah.
Well,
No, I don't flex on the internet.
I watch other people flexing and then put it on the internet.
Yeah, but they lose interest after.
Yeah, I mean, there's a novelty to it, but after that, people are just like, yeah, it's whatever.
Nobody likes bodybuilding around here. I got brothers and everything. They're all into football, baseball. And I could care less about that.
Yeah, I've never
Not
been
for trying to get football and baseball haters on me. Hey, it's a sport. Great.
more than a sport than bodybuilding is, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah. Bodybuilding is a pageant, really.
yeah.
And I used to like pro wrestling, and you tell me that's a sport?
Hot take, more than bodybuilding, I would say. The amount of athleticism you have to have.
Yeah, but there's no actual competition or outcome. So, on that sense, it's less of a sport. But
Some would argue the same for bodybuilding. Behind
hey, hey, you got to be a company man here. Like Bob Ciccarello. There was never any funny business going on here in the IFBB.
I'm not actually that big of a Bob hater, but I know some people are.
No, I like Bob.
Great
He,
physique, actually.
he can be a bit of a doofus, but so can I. So can I.
Of course, we all
Oh
can.
no, Bob had a great physique.
Very underrated. A lot
Mr.
of these guys,
USA.
that do are kind of like embedded into the NPC and IFBB. Like, I saw a picture of Jim Mannion the other day. I just thought he was just some old dude that kind of fell into it. That dude used to
No,
be
no.
stacked back in the day.
You can look at old pictures of NPC championships, and he's there. like with Ben Weeder. He's always been around.
I don't even know what
He,
his
he's
maybe
J-
it's,
he's basically Joe Weeder nowadays.
well, he doesn't have as good a voice, so
Well, I mean, not too many can sound like Joe. Come on, Arnold. Flex it, Arnold. Flex. Bend it, bend it.
so next guy, Mo Shaban, out of the picture for
Oh,
2 years. He had an
poor
update.
Mo.
He had an update the other day. I don't know if I can.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
with
here's
Sean Ray.
something. Here's something.
Oh, haven't seen that.
I haven't either.
He's a nice guy and everything. It's so hard to put these guys down without sounding like you're being mean to them.
Yeah, don't. I mean, it's just the separation for Mo. That's always been his problem. He's conditioned.
He's
It's just
grainy, yeah. It's
genetically he just
separation,
doesn't
yeah.
have the separation.
He's eating what? Pudding there? It's not a Jello pudding pop, is it?
No, you sir. Oh, it's this cookie company.
You
I
got
think
that from
he
Juan Morel?
no, he has his own. Or no, it's Mo Cookies. No, he's just sponsored by another cookie company. You know, Mark, I'm an affiliate for my cookie dealer myself. I am actually a big fan of. You can use my code. It's from my
For
old,
Juan Morel's cookies?
yes,
I
Champion
got a
10.
box. I
Uh,
got a box.
You know, I ate two of those in one day one time, and they're pretty they're pretty big.
My wife got me like a big box of them.
They're great. They're
Yeah.
absolutely great. But no, they're
I froze a lot of them because I don't eat sweets.
no, I eat like shit when I can, honestly.
I used to. I never been trained like a bodybuilder, didn't eat like a bodybuilder my whole life.
Well, I'm on that Sam Sulik approach. Just eat whatever, train really hard, it'll work itself out. You throw some extracurriculars in there, if you will. If you catch my drift.
I can't get away with eating anything bad nowadays. Just wears me out. Even if I eat potatoes or pasta, I'm sluggish. Whereas before, as soon as I hit like 38, I tell people that too. You gotta watch out for that 38. It's harder. You can still stay in shape. Don't get me wrong. It's
Mhm.
just harder. It's harder.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the picture I seen,
He's
which
been
is
pretty quiet.
flattering. It's flattering.
I mean, Mo's midsection wasn't even a problem, really. I mean, he didn't have the smallest waist, but his abs were okay. I mean,
Yeah, it was just like you said, just naturally, it was not the smallest waist. But compare him to a few of the other guys, Hassan Mustafa,
another
his waistline looks decent.
a- another Egyptian guy. All the Egyptians have good legs. Big Ramy, Hassan, Mo.
Not Tutankhamun. His legs were like a different size. Those were like half the length. His legs weren't that great.
I'll have to refresh myself.
Tutankhamun, the
Hmm.
king, that's a
Yeah.
joke.
No, there's an Egyptian bodybuilder that sounds exactly like Tutankhamun. Maybe I'm thinking of it doesn't.
Tutmon,
Maybe I'm thinking of Ben Aziza, but that sounds nothing like
Mohammed Ben
Tutankhamun.
Aziza.
Yeah, but even his legs were really good. I mean, he was short, small, but even his legs were good. But I mean, it's just Mo brings the size. He brings he's
Good
shredded.
quads, but not the greatest calves,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
strange.
and
That's strange.
he's pretty well rounded. I mean, besides the lower legs, but he's it's just pick someone. You can pick someone well rounded as well, but with better shape. We'll have guys like Antoine Akeem. Even does
Della
he beat
Rosa.
Akeem even?
Does it beat Della Rosa?
No.
He's like a lesser version of Della Rosa.
De La Rosa, I have in my sixth spot.
I
But,
honestly hope he does better than I thought he was going to do.
but I mean, I have Mo in my own predictions, one above last because there's 10 guys now. I have Justin in 10th simply because of his track record, and then I have Mo in ninth.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. See that latest picture of Justin? With a
Let's
bicep on him? Or if you're gonna get to him, we can wait, whatever.
we'll get
But
to him right now. That's fine.
I got nothing more to say about Mo. I like Mo. He's a
Exactly.
great
Yeah,
guy,
no,
but
that's exactly.
he ain't winning. He ain't winning.
I assume you're talking about this one.
No. Where is it? Somebody sent it to me this morning. Hold on a second.
This was a while ago, but is it this one?
Hold on a second.
Gotcha.
No. Here, I'll send it to you in the chat. Have a look at that. I don't know if it's edited. Maybe it's edited.
I think this was also a while ago. I'll pull it up.
Oh, is it old?
I think when he was interviewed by the NPC News Online, it was a while ago. Like,
Oh, okay.
when I say
Never
a
mind.
while ago, I mean a couple of weeks ago.
Oh. Well, the other picture you showed didn't look that swelled up. Something definitely wrong with that bicep.
Oh wow, actually, I just propped that up. Yeah, that's a shame. That's really because his biceps were good.
Yep.
Justin had good biceps. He doesn't need to do it. Could be a shoulder a shoulder pin because going down into his bicep, I would say that's probably more likely, but like that whole bicep is so swelled up, it's like
Looks weird, eh?
it looks really weird, and especially like right here, like the gap
Yeah, yeah.
between his
It's
front
supposed to be
delt.
an insy, not an outsy. It's
Yeah,
supposed to be a concave.
and I mean there's no muscle there because his bicep ends here, and this is just supposed to be largely empty. You
Yeah,
know,
that's strange, man.
that is really
Another
weird.
YouTube channel actually sent that to me. Shot for Shot. You ever watch Shot for Shot?
No, there are so
Just
many
compare.
people I don't know in this space, but
Yeah.
have good videos.
He doesn't post very much anymore.
Mm.
See, I don't see Justin doing much. Yeah, see, it's different there again.
It looks a lot better here, but he has that natural dip in his arm.
Concave, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this guy right here needs a lot more time to come in shape, Justin. You need to work on the hams and glutes more, time under tension. It's just,
Somebody giving him advice how to train. Is that guy even train?
I mean,
More time. That's all he's had but time.
I do agree with the first part. He needs more time to come in shape because he's great from the front and up, but even the waist looks a bit tighter, I think. But the glutes down and even the back as a whole. And I think the back, I think on stage, I think certain parts of this are atrophied. I think it looks
Yeah.
weird. But the
Yeah,
glutes,
his
this
back
is,
lat at one time was pretty opened up.
yeah. But this, the glutes and hams, they're not it.
I
That's
honestly think he's just competing to compete.
at this
I
point. I
mean,
mean,
by now he knows what he needs to do. And he knows he can place certain, they have sponsors, whatever. He's going to compete again. It's like Patrick Moore. He competed, but he gave up. He didn't try. Did not
yeah.
try.
I mean, and I think even Justin's rear double, it looks downsized here. Like
Yeah, even his size is down.
I
So I don't see him beating anybody.
Justin's back used to be absolutely insane. Like if we see Boston Pro 2022 Justin or Arnold
New
Classic
York
prejudging 2022,
New York Pro 2021.
yeah,
His back
like if
was
we see
insane
a
there.
Justin has to be on though because his shape is it's pretty bad because his waist is a bit wider. His delts are a bit funky. Um, so he has to really nail the other things to outwork those flaws. And that's the biggest thing he can't do anymore.
2-day shows are always his enemy as well.
Yeah, that makes it. I mean, anything he could do in prejudging, he's been known to drop the ball at finals multiple times in a row.
Yeah, Boston Pro, I think. Arnold Classic, like you said, he was.
I had him top three at the prejudging at the Arnold
Yeah.
Classic in 2022, but he ended up placing fifth. So, do you think he beats anybody?
If he does, it's going to be Maul. I would have
Um,
given him the victory over Bose, but Bose left because he had a baby. He's going to have a baby.
yep. Talked to
Gonna
him.
have a baby.
Talked to him yesterday, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Got an interview coming out with him
Oh, cool.
Sunday or Monday, whenever I can get it out. But
Jeez, you got him, Marx Max Muscle.
so much credibility on my channel. I'm basically the new muscular development.
They went under, man. You don't want to be them.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You know, it is a
Be the
shame.
new Ron Harris.
I'm really a fan of Giles.
Yeah,
I think he's upstanding gent.
he's
I,
funny.
I really like him.
You ever
Ron's
see how
good too.
jacked he was?
Yeah, actually, and a big
Well, he
head.
doesn't. He looks small, eh? He looks small, and he tells the story about when he competed first time, and all these people were kind of feeling sorry for him. Oh, there's that guy with the little arms or something they said. And
Uh-huh.
he took his top off when they went and compete, and it's like, Jesus, he's gonna win
He's
because he
pretty
looks so
tall.
small, right? Yeah, he just looks narrow because he's got a narrow clavicle, and
Yeah,
nobody knew what he had under there, and it's
yeah.
like, whoa,
No, he posts a lot of pictures, a lot of the same pics of when he used to compete, and I was pretty impressed.
yeah.
But Justin probably not beating anybody. I think
I'm gonna pass on Justin.
so. Antoine Brandao. This is an interesting one. Um, so I've been looking at this through the lens that shape is going to start mattering a lot more, especially at the Arnold.
Hmm.
And take a look. This shot really put things in perspective for me. This is after 5 days of low carbs, which by the way for him is only 300 grams because his metabolism just goes. But this is after a low carb day for him, 5 low carb days for him. But I was iffy on if he made any improvements. I think there's a little more size added in the arms, especially.
Yeah, he put on a couple of pounds.
He said he'll be about 10 pounds bigger on the Dennis James podcast.
Yeah, 8 to 10.
Um,
We watch the same content. Then they made fun of him because he does the tippy toe. They said, you got to stop doing that. And he's like, I have to do this. It's just what he does. I kind of, it doesn't bug me, but it's like I could do without it. But he has to do it.
I I
Nervous,
noticed that too.
nervous
And
twit, I guess. And
yeah,
Dennis and they are always razzing people anyway. It's just funny.
is Raphael going to be improved enough? I don't know if you watched this video. I don't think this is indicative. We'll get to that in a second. But um, I had this video, Horse versus Raphael, the Brazilian battle, if you will. And I was saying, if Horse brings that shape, which he does, he has better shape. What's Raphael's main argument at that point? Like a better back because Horse has the size. He's going to be
You,
pretty conditioned.
you think Horse has a better shape than Brandao?
He has enough. Not Brandau's going to have the best shape on the stage, even better than Samson.
Oh
But
yeah.
I'm saying Horse has enough and enough size and enough condition that I had him winning in that comparison. I had him winning like 6 poses to Brandau's 2. And
I did the similar one. And I cannot remember for the life of me who I had winning.
it's just I don't think that's going to be the outcome on show day. But I'm basically really frustrated with Raphael's inability to improve. It should not taken him this long to buckle down and get some improvements. I'm all for guys competing more, but he at some point you have to recognize when you need an off season and actually buckle down and grow.
Well, this is his first real chance to take a year off, and we'll see.
I had pictures of Arnold 20 the first time he competed at the Arnold, so 20 like
2019,
2019.
19. Yeah.
versus Olympia 2022. I mean, a
He
little bit
was
of
more cut. He was more cut at that Arnold.
and a little more chest and back thickness at the Olympia, but I mean, really,
2022 Olympia.
yeah, at the
I think he
2020.
looked a little soft, to be honest with you, at that event.
I think everyone was because they go on so late and
Mm-hmm.
they're expecting to go on hours before. So I
Yep.
don't think I mean it's all a wash at the end of the day, but against versions from different shows, I honestly did prefer the Arnold 2019, and that should not be the case. You should be
His conditioning was better. That's the thing.
I'm
You're gonna look better automatically.
I'm always siding with conditioning personally. I'm
Yeah.
a I'm
Especially when it's the same guy, same physique.
yeah.
The
Yeah,
more conditioning is gonna show up more
there's
than
some
a
truth
little
in
bit of
that.
mass. Prog Pro, he did. That was maybe one of my favorite
And
Raphaels.
him and Samson were there. Is that the
Yes.
one he beat Samson at?
No, I thought Samson beat
Samson,
him.
because they did
I
the
thought I
Romania
thought
Pro.
Samson first and he would got second.
I think that's right. But the show
And,
before, they went back and forth.
Romania.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, he beat Samson at the Romania,
And that was in 2021. And they
I
went
believe.
back and forth. So they were, for all intents and purposes, even.
Yeah.
But
And
um
2022 Olympia, they were pretty close too. 10th and 6th. Eh.
I honestly had Samson lower at that event. I mean, maybe not because I Samson was
He
just
beat Andrew Jacked. He beat Jacked, and Jacked wasn't the best.
he's not been good at the Olympia. I don't know what it is, but I think maybe he
It's the
can beat
rooster.
some
It's the
Olympians.
rooster theory.
What's that?
The biggest rooster in the hen house, he looks around. If he's the biggest cock of the walk, he's extra big and he's beating everybody up. But as soon as you look around and you see a bigger rooster, you kind of pull your claws in. And that's Andrew Jacked. When he's the winner, he's on. When he doesn't win, he's off.
So you think he's more I don't want to more motivated to come in sharper at like Texas Pro, for example, versus
When he knows,
Olympia.
yeah, when he knows he's looking around, I got this. I got this. Gives
Yeah.
him some motivation.
And then
Motivation.
he thinks maybe at the Olympia, I'm not going to be first, but if I just
Yeah.
coast in, I can still be fifth or
Yeah.
sixth.
Yeah. Whereas a Nick Walker doesn't care who's around him. He's going to compete to win.
Hmm. Um, so Brandau, I have him in third. I don't know where you had him in yours.
Third. I don't see. I think it's make or break time for him.
I said the exact same thing because I love Brandau's physique, but I want to see him do better.
Yep.
I just want to see more from him. But this last update here, it definitely gives me a little hope. And he said he's 8 to 10 pounds bigger, so we'll see. And then we've been talking about this guy on and on, but Horse was Donald Trump. Donald Trump, Donald Trump.
I didn't know if anybody was getting that. My slight political poke.
Okay.
Figured I would get some haters for that.
I make fun of quite literally everyone. I don't really
My wife hates the politics like that, guys like that, and people shouldn't because they just hate because of the name, and I'll cough or something. I go, Donald Trump, best president ever. She was like, "What did you say?" "Oh, nothing."
well, you guys got some good leadership over there with Trudeau.
Oh, oh yeah. I that's where I just go and build my igloos, and I'll come
Sure.
back when everybody's settled down with all this foolishness, clowns, and just a big distraction is all it is.
Sure. Yeah.
Foolishness. I eat my oatmeal in the morning. That's more important to me than
Yeah. I'm
find
not
out who's
exactly
winning.
I'm not exactly too pleased with my leadership over here, but
Yeah.
because I'm in the States,
You're
but
you're your own leader, though.
that that
You're your own leader.
that is true. So Horse MD, you have him lower than I have him. I have him fifth. But basically it's just like a lot of people are saying he's the next big thing, or some people are going to say he's not all he's cracked up to be. And he has some notable flaws. I mean, like, you're not going to get very far with a rear double like that. And I know some people are going to say it's one pose. I think it's more important than other poses. I think rear double, front double, and side chest are probably more important than other poses. That could just be me, but that rear double is very important.
The rear double bi shows more muscles than any other pose. Shows everything.
Hmm.
Delts, biceps, triceps, forearms, every back muscle, glutes, hamstrings, even your quads you can
Quads from the
see.
rear. Yep. And it really is like it's a bodybuilder's pose. You know, you got to be able to fill in all these different gaps.
And he's
So
missing it.
big time. I mean, he can make up ground with the rear lat spread, but I mean, he will
He
have
puts his hands out like that. Gotta put them
uh
around.
he
You don't
had
think that
a
looks funny?
no, it does, and I hate it actually. I'm like
Okay, good.
tuck your fingers in. It's professional. But he had a rear lat spread the other day and I don't think he was doing that. And that is one thing he can fix.
It's still a good pose. Yeah. Oh, no,
I
he's
think
still
this is
doing it.
okay. Some people don't have the mobility in the
He's
chest and shoulders region, so
he's
they
closing his hand anyway.
that's a
So
lot
it looks
better.
like he's gonna keep doing it then.
Muscle Discord said, "Let's see the back double biceps." You can't please everyone.
Muscle Discord.
Muscle
He's
Discord.
he's an all right guy.
He's uh, I like him
Matt.
too. I
Matt.
like him too, but he's very he pokes. He
Oh
pokes.
yeah. Yeah. I
But
don't, but I'm not gonna judge somebody that does. He's a real bodybuilder, so
he is, yeah.
he has the right to say.
So the rear lat spread, I mean, I say this is going to be someone like Samson. I don't like how Samson does his rear lat spread anymore. I have to say he leans up too much, and he used to lean back a lot more and hit it like how Horse is hitting here. But now he leans up too much, and when he should be the widest guy, he's not.
It was his strongest pose, and
And
now he worked on the rear double so much, and he's losing the rear lat.
yeah, it's still
Guys
okay.
like Arnold say, work, improve your weak points, but don't forget about your strong points. People see
Mhm.
my biceps, they become familiar with the biceps. They're gonna work on my triceps and my keep on my biceps too.
I think I think as from a judging perspective, it's better to have a strong and a weak point than have everything even across the board most of the time. I think
Yeah.
you run the risk of getting lost if everything is perfectly balanced. You'll look great by yourself, but
Yeah. I think there is certain muscle groups
that you can't miss.
that are okay to have strong points.
Mhm.
Your biceps, your delts. If they're a little bit bigger, that's okay. But if there's a if everything's exactly perfect, like, Chris Corbier said that the judges would ding him for that, for having no standout body parts. He said, "I
Yeah,
trained to be even. I trained to be even."
yeah. That's
It's like,
exactly.
your back. I like a good, strong, extra strong back. To me, that is awesome.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, even
Like,
if you improve, so like it's you can improve some things too much, some things that becomes a detriment. Legs, I think Big Rami's legs, not my cup of tea one bit. I think even Horse MD, I mean, the hamstrings are fine with me. The hamstrings from the side, but I don't like his quads from the front as much.
they're pretty round.
Yeah.
It's good hamstring separation, just gotta dry out a little bit more.
You know, I think he just needs I think he's perfectly dry from the waist down. Maybe he just lacks the maturity. Maybe he just hasn't lost enough of the baby fat to
I'm just thinking of he was standing next to, Beirut, and he was popcorn fart dry.
yeah. Yeah.
He even made Samson look a little
The
watery.
hamstrings the hamstrings are insane. I mean, from the side leg, I
Yeah,
don't
he's good and he definitely good and dry there.
and this was February 12th. So,
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
I mean, tall dude too. I mean, this guy's a 212 competitor, so he's a bit shorter, but I think Horse is a
Hey,
true 6
Fabricio
footer.
or what's his name there?
I think you're right. It's either
Yeah,
yeah, Fabricio.
yeah, he's a nice little guy. Yeah, horse tall. He's definitely tall. But why do they call him horse?
I think it's the horse legs. I think that's what Milo said on the Cutler cast.
No, 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 no. It's because when he was younger, he took creatine that was designed for horses. I thought you watched the podcast with Rafael Brandeo. He ratted him out.
No, I only watched that clip. And then
Oh, yeah, I
is that
watched
really what it
watched the whole
is?
podcast. That's what Brandeo says.
Wow.
They said I also heard somebody say that's what they call big guys in Brazil is horse.
Yeah. That
That's what I heard somebody say, but Brandeo set the record straight. He goes, no, 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 no. They call him horse because when he was younger, he took creatine that was made for horses. That's what he might have been BSing. I don't
that
know, but that's what he said.
huh. And I mean
So,
creatine or creatine.
creatine, real creatine when he was younger. They give it to horses, probably. Horses don't eat red meat, so they got to build up their muscles somehow, right?
True. That's true. So you where did you say you had horse behind Akeem?
I think no, no, no. I think I did have Antoine in my last kind of sum up prediction video.
So you had Antoine in last in your last prediction?
I think I had Antoine fourth in my last prediction video.
So
Maybe
where'd you put horse?
fifth.
Fifth. That's
I
exactly where I
think.
had him. Yeah, because you no, because you had James Hollingshead back further. And then
Yeah, I'd have to look at it
I think
again.
you had Akeem in sixth, James Hollingshead in seventh.
That's right. Because I did have Akeem ahead of James.
That's an interesting decision. We'll see how that shakes out. And then
Well, it was like an update video.
yeah, I have to watch the updates and then let it settle in my mind. I can't
Excuse me.
oh, you're fine. Directly make a prediction and then after watching the videos because you get that recency bias.
And then we all forget about John.
Not
Johnny
me.
boy.
I have him in sixth. I mean, he also said that he is up 10 to 12 pounds. He will be up 10 to 12 pounds on show day.
Yeah.
And I
From
mean
Tampa.
his yeah, from and those two shows were after a
Bicep.
3 year long hiatus and a bicep tear. Yeah.
Yeah, bicep tear.
And those were good showings.
He jumped back on the bike, man, and he was pedaling right where he left off almost. Almost.
I think he's basically back to full form now. I mean,
Now, yeah. Now he could be up.
the glutes are getting dry. The back is a lot thicker. This is gonna be his main advantage over Antoine. But Antoine has the height. I have these guys going back and forth. I have
Mm,
seventh
mm.
Antoine, John De La Rosa. I think I'm already in the midst of making my updates, but my predictions. But if I would redo it, I think I'd put Antoine in sixth. I think he's done enough in the upper body.
It makes it more so exciting to watch it even for these undercard guys.
Yeah,
It's like everybody cares about the first one and two, but then it's like, okay, these guys aren't getting into the one and two.
yeah.
One of them can get third.
And
One of
honestly,
them
I'm
can get
more
fourth.
excited to see those guys because I think they're more competitive.
It is more exciting.
Yeah, I love a good undercard. I really do. I like good lower placings just as much as I do a good top two battle that will have.
See, the Olympia this year, I was a little disappointed because of that, because I found Andrew Jacked. He didn't have that Eye of the Tiger, or nor did Hunter. And Brandon maybe have been gifted, but I can't really say that either because Jacked was off and
Jacked was way off.
Jack,
I would
yeah,
have probably had him behind maybe
Hunter.
even Crizzo. Hunter at least, maybe even Crizzo.
Krizo came much better in the finals.
Yeah, I mean he has the conditioning over Andrew. He had
See,
the conditioning
that's
over
where it
Andrew.
was exciting with you had Tonio Burton coming
Yep,
in, and
sneaking up
he
there.
upset a couple of people. He beat Regan Grimes, right?
Yes,
See,
yes.
that was exciting. That was cool.
Hmm. So
Upsets. Love the underdog.
I do too, and I think John is one of them. And
You
I
got him sixth.
sixth or seventh. Yeah. I think this is where it starts to get really exciting. I think Justin is back there. Mo is back there. Akeem, for the track record, is back there. But I think this is where we start getting really into it being super competitive.
Yeah,
Akeem could
John
push.
Peter, he could. I don't know. I don't know where to put him.
I know he wants to break into the top five. I mean, I'm not gonna say that he can't, but I mean, the size is a disadvantage for one, and with being a bit shorter, he just isn't carrying as much mass and as much wow factor. But his shape is all right, his conditioning is fine, and he's complete. It's just I think there's
Yeah,
going to be more
they're
complete
big,
guys that are
tall
bigger.
guys. Yeah, they're big, tall guys. If a guy like him can make you look thin, then yeah, it's going to destroy you.
Yeah, that's
But
I did a
he's very big.
I did a comparison with Antoine and John, and I used Antoine's Chicago Pro 2022 version. And there, I definitely had John winning. But the problem is they're both bigger now. But I think if Antoine just fills, he has to do a lot less to
Yeah,
to do it. John has to do a lot to hold on to that spot. Antoine, since he's already so tall, and he just doesn't have to
he's
do a
six
whole
feet,
lot. Antoine is, yeah,
so he'd be taller than James. He'd be Horse's height.
yeah,
I believe Horse is right around 6 feet.
I think so too. So did you have John like seventh or eighth?
I think I do have him under Hollingshead. It's just hard to put these guys
Well,
anywhere.
well, you also have him under Akeem too. That's the thing that's throwing me off. You have a lot of faith in Akeem. You know,
For me, Akeem is like you with De La Rosa. I honestly think he's going to surprise people, but
De La
I
Rosa is
also
more
kind of think
consistent.
that way about more consistent than Akeem.
Yes. Well, he's consistently better. Akeem is
The
consistent.
fact, the fact that he came back after a hiatus and he was on both those two times, yeah, he's
Mhm.
pretty consistent, I
I
would say.
think Akeem is consistent, but he's consistently coming in at like
Akeem's consistent.
75,
Yeah,
80%.
80% is 100% Akeem because we haven't seen 100% Akeem since 2020.
That's
Really, really.
that's good. I like the way you put that actually. I think that's a
Like like your Patrick Moores, you're not going to see 100% Patrick Moore.
no, that ship
We,
is
we were never we were not supposed to see Patrick Moore in 2019. We were
Mhm.
never supposed to see that Patrick Moore.
I think Akeem still has a 2020 in him. I really do.
Yeah,
But it's just, I mean, he can bring it, but will he?
doesn't appear so.
Doesn't appear so. But I think John will bring it. I think he's going to be his maybe his best ever. Definitely his best after his hiatus. But is is he going to get lost in the mix basically with his height and being only 240 compared to 270 and 6 foot?
No, you got to look at the top two at the Olympia. They were all both short guys, so it can happen. But he doesn't
That's
have the dryness to, I don't think, to.
I think I think you can. I don't know if there's going to be any Tampa Pro. Let's see here.
That's from a few years ago.
Yeah, trying to find Tampa here. I mean, he's pretty
There's
crisp
Tampa there.
for standing up against Hunter Labrada. In terms of conditioning, I think he's just about right there.
Lewis Breed.
I mean, Lewis Breed, he can get kind of grainy, but
Yep,
I think for John, bottom to top conditioning,
John's good.
I think so. And I mean, from the back, his glutes aren't the most striated, but they're still
That's his.
dry.
I think that's maybe one of his only weaker muscle is the glutes. And when it's just the glutes, they forgive you. When it's the glutes and the hamstrings, they don't. Because his lower back is pretty crisp. Man, that was good lighting at that Tampa.
Yeah, it's a shame that the Olympia can't do this, but
Well, I preach to them. I say, having a screen in front of you, it deflects the lights. When you even at Tampa, the Tampa sign is busy,
Yeah,
but it's not a screen, so the light all goes to the guys,
that
and
yeah.
they will never get that. They don't understand that they won't do it. They
Yeah,
won't do
even
it.
if they have a stagnant background, it's still a stagnant background on a screen.
Yep, yep. Makes it worse. Makes the guys look all blue and weird. They started doing that in, like,
I never can
2014.
I've never considered that, but that you're absolutely right about that.
It's obvious, stick something in front of the TV.
I mean, it should be obvious.
Whether the TV's gray or not, it's gonna take from you gotta have a flat, and it can't be like a hard surface either.
Mhm.
It would work, but even a soft surface, the
Yeah.
light, it absorbs the light and it doesn't bounce off it. Like the old curtains,
Mhm.
the guys would just glow because the light's going right at them.
But I mean,
But what do I know?
I mean, the Olympia lighting, I mean, it's pretty unforgivable, to be honest. You have millions of dollars to run the event and you can't figure it out.
They're trying to make it a rock show for the people in the audience.
What I hate even more is the light show that they have. I can forgive the background because I think they with the venues they pick, they're always going to have a screen because they
The
need
smoke
something
rolling
massive.
in.
The
Ugh.
smoke was a little
The
much.
the air has to be clear so you can see, especially
I
people far back.
I can't even use picks from the finals in my comparisons
No, no,
because it's just not fair.
you're just getting me worked up. Look, I'm shaking.
It's it's a travesty. But I don't know.
You'd be
Lower
better
back,
off getting people that don't know what they're doing to hook the lighting up.
yes, yes. Honestly, I mean, this is I think Tim Gardner's show. All of his shows, actually no, because he did the Chicago Pro too, and the Chicago Pro from last year, actually the worst lighting I've ever seen on the stage.
Oh, they got the flames going off.
It looks like actually it was lit by a candle, but
Oh, the actual lighting, not just the background.
I didn't even notice the flames in
Also,
the background.
he placed second to
Justin Shire, and I
Justin.
don't really agree with that, but
This was his first show back.
yes, yeah,
Yeah, he got a little bit better, I think, for the Tampa.
I would say so.
Shire is good.
Yeah, it's a shame we won't see him this year, but I mean, it's what he has to do. He's taking the entire year off to grow. Good move,
Gotta
but
get that back filled out. You'll be right in the hunt.
he's one of those guys that actually pull from the floor. He always deadlifting. I don't know if you follow him on Instagram. Always deadlifting, rowing. And
Think I got him on there.
the form is impeccable. But
Oh, he has the thick lats, like, he's trying. It's
oh yeah,
just genetically speaking, he has a short back, like an Andrew Jack. It's a short back.
hmm
Some guys have, like, a big, long back. You get more space to fill out.
yeah, yeah. John's back quite good. I
Great,
think,
it's a great back.
and I mean the glutes.
Hunters,
Hunter
yeah.
really brought it up. Hunter really brought it up. But I mean John's glutes. I mean genetically not the most striated, but they have enough.
Yeah, like I said, though, he's Christmas tree, hamstrings look hard.
Yeah. So that's the final guide to discuss besides the top two, I think. Yep, because we've already spoke about Justin. He's unfortunately off the table. He really shouldn't be, but I think he is. Um,
This year, yeah. He's gonna have to make some major improvements.
so Samson. Well actually let's let's go back first to when these guys first started first faced off where they were
Samson and
close at the Olympia.
Hattie?
Yes. I have to scroll way down for these, but so I'm looking at this through the lens of shape is going to matter a lot more. I think, I mean, Keon won the 212 when I had Sean winning. Derek won the Olympia Open when I had Hottie winning. And let's not forget about the last year's Arnold, where I had Nick winning. Most of us did, I think. I think over 50% of us did, but Samson ended up taking it off. I did too. But I think now that they have more of these mass with class guys to choose from, they're like, we can finally move into that decision. We have enough guys that are really bringing in good packages, but have great lines.
Yeah. There's
I'm looking for those. There we
if
go.
if he can beat Nick Walker after last year's or the year before's Olympia, so he placed 6th,
Hmm.
Walker got 4th,
Hmm.
then he can beat Hadi Chupin, whereas he got 3rd and Hadi got 2nd at the Arnold.
Yeah, I would say
So
so.
if he can beat Nick, he can beat Hadi.
I honestly, if we're going the shape route at last year's Olympia, I say just give it to Samson at that point because if conditioning and things matter less, I'd rather just look like Samson over the Derek.
Yeah, I don't have Samson beating Derek unless you're really dinging Derek for those lats.
The lack of abs, the lack of chest,
Yeah, but
hardness.
Samson's abs aren't the best. I could see it if his abs were great,
That's true.
but Samson, I put him in the same boat as Derek as far as the abs are concerned.
I think Samson overall has the more appealing physique, though.
Oh, yeah,
So I would say if
his quads look bigger there, I can tell you that, and that's the thing too, Derek's biceps, but Samson doesn't have the freakiest, peakiest biceps either. He kinda has the same type of physique on a bigger and yeah, more aesthetic physique,
sure, um,
but then the back shots, it's just too much.
let's see here. I'll see if I can.
Now, the night of the Olympia I was watching, I was a Derek hater,
I was too.
but then I eased up on it.
Never did. So this is the Prague Pro Samson and
So this is a good
Olympia Hottie.
comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the slides. Who just off the top of your head, who would you have winning here? Because Samson was more
If you can
conditioned at the
if
Prague
you
Pro.
can yeah, he was, no doubt, no doubt. Now, if you're seeing these guys side by side, you're gonna notice how much wider Hattie is,
Yeah.
and that makes a difference.
Hmm.
I like the shape of his biceps more, but
Yes.
symmetrical. Samsons are not the best freaky peaky, but they're symmetrical. Now, as
Sm-
far as legs, uh, I honestly think Samson has better quads
I think
because
Hottie does enough.
Hattie's are a little uneven.
Yeah. I had Hottie
Sam
winning this one.
Hattie's got a better midsection.
Yes. I know that you alluded to that earlier. Samson's abs are really not that great, and his stomach
No,
is getting bigger. It is slowly getting a little bit bigger.
it will at a certain age. I've
Yeah, he's no
watched enough
spring chicken.
bodybuilding to know that your midsection gets wider,
Yep.
actually wider. I used to be able to put both my hands around my waistline, for goodness sakes. And it
I
just grows once you reach Samson. Yeah, you said he's a long way from the stewing pot, but he's no
hmm
spring chicken.
Yep. So would you have Samson taking it overall or
The way I do it, if it was close in the next shot, I'll weigh everything and I'll say who's
okay?
winning from the front.
Then we can go
But
to that one.
everybody does it different. You see now, this is it's same trouble.
I have
It's
Samson winning this one. I've split these. I have Hottie winning the first one. I have Samson winning this one. Because his lats taper lower. And Hottie's legs don't look as good in this shot as they did in the last one.
his legs don't look as good.
Hottie
Yeah,
really
I'd
needs
have
to turn them out. He needs to turn those toes out, or he loses the sweep because he just doesn't have
he
it.
he won't because he's uneven.
Yeah. And then Samson's legs, they're right there. They're nipping at his heels. If you don't have Hottie in the wheels, then Samson is at least right. Or if you don't have Samson in the wheels, he's at least right there.
Yeah, I might likely go with Samson at the front shots, but it's close.
I
No, the
would
side, no doubt. Side, no doubt.
Samson, big man's chest, best pecs in the IFBB, if you
All
ask
the way,
me.
all the way.
Crizo,
Him or Krizo, if you take away a little Fig Newton, I think Krizo's got. I think Samson has a little Fig Newton also.
what do you mean by that?
A little fake Newton. The old Napoleon there.
Mm,
Gyno, these, baby, please.
yeah.
Never heard me call it a big Newton
I've
before.
no, I've never heard of the Fig
That's a
Newton.
little fake Newton, and Hattie Shupin slapped on some clay there on the side. It was dealt.
Yeah.
It was pointy, fellas. That's what I
Um,
call that, slapping on some clay.
I still think I I think Samson is a clear winner,
Mhm.
but Hottie is not respectable in this shot. You know, his pecs are all right. He's doing a lot to really like prop them up as much as not propping them up, but really make them look as big. But he's really turning to the side. Really,
Mm.
like he is crouching down, turning to the side, trying to make himself look as big and as wide as possible. But Samson, he has that old school execution, and
Mhm.
he
Star
doesn't need.
leg, straight,
Yeah, he doesn't
kick the
need to.
cab back.
He doesn't need any of that fancy posing.
Samson's is Hattie's is solid, but Samson's is special.
This is, I don't think where it's going to be decided, but it's very interesting because both of these guys, last time they faced off, had Derek in the middle of them with an absolutely incredible back. These two guys, their worst pose is the rear double.
Oh, Derek
Um,
was beating these guys, no doubt.
and that changes the dynamic. So it's just like, well, Derek's already winning the back, so we don't need to examine this too much further. But here, we really have to take a look. And I have Hottie winning personally. I think Samson has a little more detail, but Hottie has more meat. He just has more thickness back there.
Arms actually look better too, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Samson's got long arms,
Needs to fill him in a bit more.
or at least twist them back or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's your widest pose, the rear double by.
Yep.
Wider than the front double, as they lean back.
Yeah.
Like when you're doing pictures, the rear
And
double's the widest.
and Samson actually he should be really wide, but
He
and
is.
we'll see this more in the next pose. I think Hottie's back is wider.
Hattie's rear lat spread is probably the widest in the IFBB. But
Yeah.
yeah, I get Hattie winning here, but it's not he's not getting bullied.
No one, I mean, I just said in my comparison, I said Samson, I don't think anyone wins. Samson's more of a bigger loser though. To put it bluntly. And then the rear lat spread, I don't think Hottie is hitting the shot, snapping it perfectly. But I think even here, it's
Neither is
just,
Samson, I don't think.
well, Samson does it like this now. And like I said, he leans forward a bit more in the back. He used to lean way back. Um, it's so he can do this thing with his lower body where he pushes the glutes out. It sacrifices glute striations, but he gets more quads, hams, and definitely adductors in the middle.
Yeah, his hamstrings definitely look meaty and good,
Mhm.
but next to Hattie, their soft glutes are gonna cost him, and the back is
All
smaller on
the
a bigger guy. So
all the
I
way
think
to the
I just think
back.
he may be getting bullied here in the back lat.
Yeah. Did you have Samson winning the rear double too? Or you had the Hottie winning the rear double?
I had Hattie winning both back shots. Poor Samson.
Let's see here. And then the side tricep. Samson has a couple of things that bug me. I wish he locked in that midsection and his tricep needs to be more separated, but
Yeah.
Hottie just doesn't have the mass in the tricep.
Why don't we edit the midsection of Hattie onto the physique of Samson,
That's a
and then
winning
you have
shot.
Samson. Yeah, you have Samson winning. But side tricep, I have a very hard time giving this one to Samson when I look at the midsections. A very difficult time.
I said I like Hottie's polish more, but at the end of the day, it's all about thickness and the tricep. So I gave the edge to Samson. I don't know if
I
you're
can
in that
see
same
that.
boat.
That'd be the first one I disagree with you.
Okay.
Without, it's just the midsection. Trust me. It's nothing else.
I can see that. I can see that
Nothing else.
because I mean, I have Samson blowing him out of the water in size everywhere. The
He
pecs
is.
are
He
thicker,
is.
but I mean the
Legs look
midsection.
better.
Yeah.
Everything looks better. It's just Samson's midsection goes
And we see that a lot here.
here too.
I'll have two variations of the abs and thighs, but for the head-on abs and thighs, um, Samson
His
is
execution's good.
yeah, but the abs are just shallow, and the stomach. not locked in. It's just, and then Hottie has Andrew, Nick, and Hottie have the best abs in the IFBB. I think Hottie probably has the best abs.
That he does, yeah.
Maybe not the best midsection in total. I'd probably still have Andrew jacked, but abs, Hottie.
I'm building the best bodybuilder out of the ultimate bodybuilder out of like different certain body parts,
Yeah,
and Andrew Jacked is pretty darn good in
he
that
is
aspect,
definitely.
and so is Hattie.
So you'd probably have Hottie winning here,
Oh,
and I mean
not
this
not even a question. I even think his V taper is better
from this angle, most
from that
definitely.
angle. Yeah,
Definitely. And they do the shot. Samson does the twisting shot a lot better for him. His quads not super detailed. Neither are Hottie's, and Hottie loses a little bit of size, so I'd probably have Samson in the lower body. But in the abs, I think they're comparable in the actual development of the obliques in the abs, but Hottie's is on a tighter waist.
there's just too much food in there.
Yeah, Milos is notorious for those insulin carb ups, but I don't think he carbs Samson up too much. I think that's what he said.
He wants a number. He wants him to be 300 pounds or something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think.
See, Milos always had the best midsection out there, so he doesn't care.
Mhm,
He could carb up. He was unbelievable at carbing up,
yeah.
but his back was never that crisp. So
You can't dictate where the carbs go. And
no, no, and his abs were just like Hattie's. Hattie just doesn't seem to be able to do wrong with his as far as the abs.
exactly. So Samson lost the last abs and thighs execution. Is Hottie still winning this one in your eyes?
See, I would do it as put the two together. I
Yeah.
got Hattie winning because this is close, but I still
It's a slam
the
dunk on the last
midsection.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like most musculars, I I wish I had some
Average
pull in the IFBB because I would have them do two most musculars.
hands clasped or hands on hip and then a crab.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
you can't judge a crab with the hands clasped.
Well, I
It's a
have
different pose.
I have the
Yeah,
crab
there you go, there
and
you go. You got it all
the
hooked up.
so
There you go.
in the hands clasped, I have Hottie. The width
Yeah,
is insane and the muscle maturity is
yeah,
Samson looks narrow. His waist is as wide as his shoulders in this one.
yep, yep. Abs too.
It just the stomach looks very bloated here. It's in the yeah, and then Hottie's abs are locked in. So you have Hottie on this one pretty easily.
Does not look like my predictions are gonna be right. Based on these pictures, that is.
Well, we'll see. What do you think about this crab? I still have Hottie winning. I think
Ah,
Samson looks a little too soft, but this is closer.
the dark shadows are covering his midsection, so that helps.
That's true because his
I
midsection
I'd
will get
pro I'd
exposed.
probably go with Samson on this one, but combine the 2,
Yeah,
probably Hattie.
gotcha. So we traded a pose, but we had the same ultimate score. You had Hottie winning 5 poses to
Yeah,
Samson's 3. But I said in my video, I definitely have Hottie winning this comparison, and I think me personally, I'll have him winning on show day. I have Samson taking the Arnold Classic though,
as of now.
as of now.
Yeah, like I said too, like you said, as soon as we see the first call out, we're all gonna change our predictions anyway.
Yeah.
So, it's not that stupid to have more than one prediction. Dennis James does it. They all do it. They have like 5 or 6 different predictions every time they do a video.
So, um, I think the shape is going to matter a lot, and I don't know if you remember this. The Olympia TV channel had a Derek versus Samson battle, like an Olympia battle where they're both in the gym and they do a little posing too. Um,
Yep.
and it's
Was
just
that before
weird.
the Olympia? Was that
That was before. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
in,
yeah, yeah.
and I just think it's weird that those two were picked. I know Hadi's in Iran, and it's not as easy to get him over here. But it's weird that those were the two chosen, and I think we're gearing up for another rivalry of Derek versus Samson, and I think that's going to be what we have for the next couple of years. If no one sneaks up in there, like an Andrew Jacked, Hunter finally
Yeah.
pulls it together
Body
totally.
bodybuilding is as such that anything can happen, but if all clear sailing, you're
Yeah.
right. I believe you're right.
All
They're
right.
trying to force Hattie out of there.
And you know, how much does the walking off stage hurt him?
Hey, it's happened before. Nobody said anything about it. Dave Palumbo, and I like Dave. I
Yeah.
like Dave. But he
Yeah.
went on there and he was immature about it. He said, I'd fire his butt, except he said the bad word for butt. You know what I mean? You'd fire him or suspend him or whatever. For what? Did he go on there and say they should do
Um,
that with Flex Wheeler? Flex Wheeler did it. Do you remember Phil Heath placed third or second? Placed second, 2018? Took his thing off, walked off stage. Nobody said boo about that.
yeah. But
Nobody said boo about that.
I still I don't think it's that big of a deal because I've never
I
been in
don't
that
think I
situation,
don't
but
think it's that big of a deal.
I know that would hurt, obviously. But
Don't do it again. That's all. You don't need to suspend somebody. He lost the title. He didn't flip out. He didn't throw anything. Frank Zane threw his trophy up against the wall.
well, that was warranted completely.
Well,
Well,
but still, what is it gonna do?
yeah.
The Frank Zane didn't. I don't think Frank Zane's placings would have changed anyway.
True. That's
I
the
don't think
year
he was
smashed
way off.
urethra, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't. I can't see him beating Boyer Coe, and he placed
No.
ahead of Boyer Coe, and it's like it's a pageant.
Mhm.
Somebody is voting on you. If you're upset about it, sure you will be.
So we're back to top 10. Let's fill it in. We'll call it a day. 10th, I think we've already established Justin Rodriguez. Correct?
So it's down to a top 10 show then.
Yes, it is because the three guys were out we originally had.
With Bouze, it was a top 11 because I
Correct.
jokingly gave my top 11 or top 10 predictions, but then I
Yeah.
said, really, it's 11 guys because there's only one guy I'm leaving out. Obviously, he's 11th.
His story, I told you I interviewed him yesterday. Absolutely amazing. Uh Homeless 2 years ago.
Ramiko?
Yeah, Ramiko Bose,
Really?
homeless 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and he told me the interview will come out soon, but I was I had no idea about these things, but I was very interested. But no, he's had a hard one for sure.
Yeah. Hard times makes for hard people.
Exactly. That's exactly what he was his attitude was. But he's out, so it is a top 10. So
That's why I'm a softie. I always had it good. Damn you, my good parents
I
took good care of me.
I know. So
No, no, no.
Mo Shaban in ninth.
Yes. That's yeah, I think you agree with that.
Yes. I think this is where we start to disagree though, because I think I may have Akeem in eighth. I mean, you'd probably put John in eighth.
I got John. I got
Okay.
John.
Okay.
And I hate to do it. Still like to be able to go shake these guys' hands.
Of course. Well, you know,
You put me in 8th. How dare
for
you?
$30, you can go to the Arnold to the meet and greet, Mark's,
Yeah.
Mark. But
Well, I could set up a booth and I could charge them $5 to come see me.
honestly, honestly, you know, I'm thinking about going to the Detroit Pro. Actually,
I'm Canadian. I need a passport. I,
I'm in the
I got some
Midwest.
I got some assault charges I got to take care of first.
I'm in the Midwest, so the Detroit Pro is just right around the corner,
You're
not too
you're a
far of a trip.
Yankee. You're one of them Yankees.
Yeah, but I think I may because the Detroit Pro is going to be a great show, great show. Um, Good Vito's in now.
Yeah.
Yep,
So is
John, Mo,
Thomas Carlos Thomas,
Carlos Thomas Jr. You know, he
isn't he?
said he said that the update that he put out was 50 days out, and that lines up to be the Detroit Pro, but other people have already reported that he's going to do the Arnold Brazil.
Oh.
That's what I had him doing. And he's not confirmed for either yet because the Arnold Brazil hasn't gotten their act together and put out a list, even though we're a month away.
Bodybuilding's like that. They got to kind of wait to see if they're going to be peaking at that point in time.
Yeah.
Like what
But
shows the best for you?
either way, I don't think he's in shape for either show. It's 7
No.
weeks out, but that's
7 weeks to the go, yeah,
yeah,
to Detroit.
that's besides the point. Seventh, you probably have you had James in your original. You gonna
James, yeah, I'll go with James. I'll go with James. I'm sticking it out with Akeem.
and then Akeem in sixth.
Then Akeem.
A lot of faith in Akeem. But
Yep.
you, like you said, what did you say? 80% Akeem is 100% Akeem.
It's all you're gonna see. Usually you don't see 50 or 40.
That's true. That's true. And then you had Horse in
And
fifth.
here's where I got people booing me and throwing rocks at my siding. Like, I already cracked my siding out there.
You did have Horse, right, in fifth?
Yep. Yep.
I don't think that's not too out of the question. I have him in fifth, even though I'm looking through the lens of this is going to be a shape contest because he's just missing too many things. A little unprofessional too.
Posing counts here at
It
the
does.
Arnold.
Especially, I mean, it only counts so much when it's really bad. And in Horse's case, it's
It
pretty
can be,
bad.
yeah. It
Yeah.
can be.
And then you had Antoine in fourth, right?
Antoine Vaillant, le Canadian man.
Antoine is actually really growing on me. I think you've opened my eyes to revelation, but I've already started making the video. I can't go back on it now. But rounding out your top three, you had Brandau.
Absolutely.
And then who did you have
Gimme
as the
Hattie. Gimme Hattie.
in the winner spot?
No, Hattie second.
Is this
Samson Dauda for the win.
so you that's one you did change from your last predictions.
Yeah.
My
I
comparison
figure
compelled
it's
you.
a different group now.
It is.
It's less of a muscle contest because Rubiel's gone. Now it's more of a shape contest.
You know, I try to bring that up on my channel. You're the only one I've heard talk about that. Things change in a lineup. Who you are next to can dictate a lot.
Absolutely. Styles make fights.
Yep.
It's
Because
like, just because you can beat this guy up doesn't mean you can beat this guy up, but this guy might be able to beat that guy up. But you can't beat that guy up, but you can
yeah.
beat this guy up. Who can beat that guy up?
Um
Makes no sense to me.
yeah, it's kind of hard to grasp. It doesn't because like it's kind of hard to make in a muscle contest when your top 3 or I guess top 5, all these guys are in top 5, I would say are more like aesthetic guys versus bodybuilders in your top 5 besides Hadi Chupin. So Hadi Chupin is going to look like the odd man out. And subconsciously in these judges' opinions, it's going to sway him a little bit because he looks like the odd man out.
Yeah, it can make him feel out of his element as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But one thing that might save him, he does have great shape in the midsection. He may have the best midsection,
Yeah.
and that's aesthetics.
That is, I mean, you can't
So,
say his X frame isn't
no,
his quad sweep is a little poor, but that's still a solid X frame.
smaller calves and forearms to me is unaesthetic, very unaesthetic. Good
Yeah.
calves,
Yeah.
it looks good. Like Ramon Dino, them big calves and forearms make him look good.
Yeah. It's goes back to the Vitruvian man. It's the perfect proportions.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is Marx Max Muscle's top 10. All broken down for you. Bow neatly set upon it. In the top 5 for Classic, Wesley Vissers, Michael DeBull, Breon Ainsley, Urs Kalasinski, and Ramondino taking the show. In Open, Justin Rodriguez, Moshe Bond, John De La Rosa, James Hollingshead, Akeem Williams, Horst MD, Antoine Vaillant, Raphael Brandau, Hadi Chupin, and Samson Dauda taking the win. I agree with most of that. I have to say, the Classic, I mean, we're on the
Same.
same page, yeah.
Yeah.
But Open, in this 4th through 7th spot, honestly, I think this may be the most competitive of it. I think
Well,
Raphael's,
8 too. 8,
yeah,
I would
yeah,
say.
yeah. Nothing against Moshe Bond. I still think he's in a tier above Justin, but I still have him in 9th, unless some guy comes in majorly off. The other guys are just better genetically for whatever reason, shape, separation, completeness. Most pretty complete, but he's just in a tier above Justin, a tier below the rest. You happy with this list?
As of now.
As of now.
I'll see that first call out. Might change my decision on it, but that is what it is, right?
it is what it is. So that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about, and I really appreciate you coming on.
Hey, man, anytime.
All right, and
Anything for a bodybuilding channel. I like to talk bodybuilding.
I know, I really enjoy talking with people like-minded. And I think we're like-minded on certain things in the sport. But that does it for this podcast. Come back soon. Come back soon. Maybe even for a live stream. It's up to you. We'll talk about that more. Anything else you want to add, plug?
Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. No, seriously, guys, watch Project Bodybuilding. Good comparisons. It's good to have more than one opinion on things too. You learn more.
I definitely agree. Loved picking your brain. I hope you enjoyed picking mine. And you're the first episode of the podcast. It must be a privilege.
It is. I'm nervous, shaken, uh, just like when I won my first trophy.
Well, I appreciate it, and we'll have you back soon.
All right,
So,
man. Take her easy.
thank you. Have a good one.
Yeah. See you, man.
See ya.